Hey, yo, welcome back.
What up, what up?
It is Fly Nerd Group Primetime, episode 6.
Wallace.
Exactly. We are back once again. I am the man in the middle, Coach E Soul Star. To my left is
Mr. Cosmo Galactus. You know, I had a little soul searching, man.
Oh, yeah?
What's up?
I think I have to go full Galactus on Fly Nerd Group, man.
Bring the G back.
Go ahead.
Bring the G back.
Bring the G back.
Full Cosmo Galactus. What's up, motherfucker?
All right. And on my right is...
The ambitious one, Ambi Warhol.
Word. And providing the soundscape this week is none other than...
DJ Risky Biz.
Exactly.
He speak with his hands.
Yeah, he speaks with his hands.
I love it.
Exactly. And yo, much like the last episode, we got another homegrown legend in the building.
A compadre of mine,
yes.
man. Partner in crime, partner in rhyme.
Exactly. The man is a fashion designer.
Yes,
He is
sir.
an artist. He
Yes,
is
sir.
a producer.
Yes,
He is
sir.
a lyricist supreme.
He's a Chicago staple.
He is
Yes,
a
sir.
Chicago staple. He has bounced across the globe and back. Let's give it up for the one, the only A in the square navigator himself, Pugs Atomz.
Stand of the people.
What? You know what I mean? Yo, overflow. Drop that beat in. Acrobats International League careers. The Dread Pugs Atomz.
Taking it back right there, man.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
2002 right there.
Word. DJ Risky Business bringing the classic Pugs to the forefront.
So what's good, Pugs?
Yes.
You know, I'm here with you guys. It's a audacious occasion. You know, I'm feeling good, feeling great. Just dropped a new video today.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
joining us, Pugs, man, for real.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, guys.
Absolutely.
Yes, I've seen you guys on my Instagrams. You know?
Yeah, we shining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We pop up every now and again. We do things.
Look at these guys.
Yeah, the level of the lives, man.
Right. We're here.
But man, let's talk about what you got going on. So the Madden 95 video just dropped today.
Yeah, man.
So give us a little go.
Well, first, let's give a little rundown of who he is. For the people who don't know who Pugs
There you go.
Atomz
There, I'll put a
is.
fist up for it. Yeah, go.
There we go.
Shout out to Flashy and Grimy, the Gremlins in the building. Yo,
Yeah,
yo, yo.
there he is.
He's got a trench coat, bro.
Yeah, he's
pretty
ready
cold.
for war.
His pervert
Is that
jacket.
what he's ready for?
I guess so. I don't know.
Is that the trench coat means war?
You never
Really?
know what's under
Ready
the
for
hood.
the
You never
rain?
know what's under the
Right.
hood.
What's with
We
the
know what's
what's with the
under there.
80s 18 villain sunglasses on, homie, man?
He shows
He
what's
really
under his
came
trench
with the
coat.
sunglasses, though.
he did. He came
That's
strong with the
cold.
blue
That's
blockers.
cold.
Oh, he's shady.
So yeah, Pugs, let's go ahead. Tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
Let's go.
Get some history.
Uh,
Chicago history for y'all.
Yeah. So I came to Chicago from Pittsburgh. My dad was a radio DJ. My mom was a painter. And, you know, over the years, I just got really into graffiti. And graffiti kind of linked me with hip-hop, you know, learning how to rap and all that. And I got to really take off, you know, with the elements. So, like, my first, like, big break was about 1998. I did this movie, Light It Up, did, like, all the graffiti in the movie. And I used that money to put out my crew, Acrobats, like our first couple like tapes, albums, and that kind of thing. And then with this guy Prime, started to like travel around like the United States and go to your scribble jams and you know all the battles and that kind of stuff.
Going in.
But you know, at that time, most people really knew me for freestyling because I really prided myself on not being beat and just you know able to just create you know off the cusp. You know, I think probably one of my greatest moments was telling the story of my first time going to Scribble Jam at WLUW when they were asking me like what is a Scribble Jam, and I was able to like to give like a good I think that was probably
freestyle form.
15 minutes of what happened. You know,
That's dope.
yeah.
Delicious.
And then later it became
Off
a
the
song and became like one of my really popular records, Scribbling.
So since you brought that up, how do you feel about freestyle?
I kind of wish that people just would leave it to like actually being spontaneous as opposed to just these bars you have tucked as a freestyle.
Prescribed
you know?
bars, yeah.
So you don't have like a bar in the tub for yourself? You gotta have.
Or not. I mean, I don't feel like that's to me like Chicago. You got to think about it. Like we're really hardcore on the rules. Right. You know, like when we say this is
Proper
how it is, we're
etiquette.
on it. Like that's what it is. So, you know, for me, it was really difficult, you know, as I started to go, you know, to more places with Prime and just realize, like, none of these guys really could freestyle. They really just all have, like, all these verses going forever. So, you know, for me, it just started to make me not really want to go that way as, like, a battle rapper in that sense. And I just started working more on making songs and then, you know, worrying more about my stage show and bringing that spontaneous element to the stage. So, like, for instance, like, me and Audacity, Waffle King, you know.
Shout out to Dan.
Shout out to the Waffle King. We gonna bring you in, fam. We bringing you in.
You next.
Hey, y'all were going to get some heat as soon as I talked to them. They didn't.
Yeah, no,
hey, we trying to get
it's
shit
all
together, man. Come on, man.
It's all. I can tell you already. It's
fam.
already happening.
We're getting warmed up.
Yeah, big up to him. He just dropped the Hungry Beat tape today.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It just came out today.
Definitely. It's
Straight
happening.
bangers. Hey, whose mic is that? Whose mic is hot? Somebody's mic is hot. It's me. Okay, there you go. Good. But you know, we never practice. So like from the beginning of me and him doing shows, like I think 06 is when we started to work together. We never would practice. Every stage show, we just get up there. I'm like, this is the list of records, and we just improv the whole thing. And so for me, freestyling became that, you know, to the point where I even got to go to Second City and do shows based from that, you know. Yeah, but outside of that, you know, I went to the Artist Studio Chicago for fine painting, and there I met this guy, DJ Crooked. He was like a New York DJ. He's actually now in Vegas, like killing it in Vegas. Got billboards and all that. But he would like produce beats, and he showed us how to record, how to make beats, and that kind of thing. But at the school also, I met Damon Lamar, and now you know we.
Shout out to Damon Lamar, G.
We've been working together since like '98, painting murals together and that kind of stuff. So in this time, like the mural aspect of my life, the art aspect of my life is like really picked back up. And
so yeah, you started like conquering walls in Inglewood, dude. Like, you know, that's your stomping grounds. That's where you from. So let's get into the Inglewood project and like what's been going on.
Inglewood.
Okay, so you know, in the beginning of it, like my mom, she was creative director at the Boulevard Arts Center in Inglewood, 6011 South Justine.
I am familiar with that.
And at that space, like I was a apprentice artist. Then I became like a teacher there, and I threw a lot of my first parties there. And it was just like a space where I could really develop it and then sit with like, you know, your Oscar Brown Juniors, you know, your Dale Washingtons, your Marcus Stringfellow.
Heavy hitters.
You know, a lot of like the OGs, you know, and give me, you know, substance and, you know, give me that push to be like, yo, you could do your thing. You could just do your thing, you know. So in this time, I reconnected with Tanika Johnson, who actually, both our mothers worked at that center.
The Folded Map Project, right?
Yeah. And
Shout out to Tony.
We were like, you know, we all knew each other, but we didn't know each other necessarily from Inglewood. It was just like more so you'd be out and about and you'd be like, oh, what's up? Then like later you'd be like, oh man, you live over here. Wow.
The big city, small town effect.
Exactly.
But also, you know, pointing to the fact that a lot of the stuff was up north or downtown that Southsiders would go to in order to, you know, socialize or push their art and that kind of thing. Right. But about like 3 years ago, we just said, hey, you know, we all are doing stuff. Let's do stuff together. And, you know, from there, we came up with the Inglewood Arts Collective. So most recently, we won the mayor's Invest Southwest program. It was like $50,000 to redo like the entrance to Inglewood. So like 50, what's that? Like I think 58th and Halsted.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's major.
That is.
So dope.
That is major.
Yeah,
that is major, and I'm glad that people are out there embracing the art.
Exactly.
That is major,
and that's important because it's like it's full circle. Because you know we made music, Necrobats. You toured around the world, and then you had the opportunity to bring art back to the crib. You know what I mean? Like that's really dope. So where did this travel and all this Euro P come from?
Well, actually, Andrew Barber, he coined that term Euro P.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was like one of his posts, because it just had got to the point where I started doing like these 16-bar check-ins, like each country I was in. So I'll be on an elevator or I'll be like on a balcony. Like I'll pick like a trippy spot to kick these bars off. And then he was just like, you know, Euro Peas. And then, you know, it just stuck. You know, it was kind of like, I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm going to run with that, you know. So I made like an EP, you know, called Euro P.
Yes.
And then, you know, everybody else really ran with that. Like, yo, all right, that's who you are, you know. But it was just really just the push, you know, of, you know, being with Prime and saying this is what we're gonna do. Then later teaming up with Taiwan and being like, this is what we're gonna do, you know, because he was like the guy that got me to leave the country in the first place. It was like 2002.
Okay.
He told me, he said, yo, Pugs, bro, it's like $444.
And like, break down the facts.
I was just like, wow, that's not a lot at all. Okay, I guess I'm going. There it is. We're done. So, you know, from that experience, you know, of like doing shows, like I think in that trip we did Germany, we went to London, and then we went to Paris, and then in Paris we did this show at the Nouveau Casino, and that show was like a sold out show, crazy. And then like I got to do a bunch of press and, you know, go to all these underground radio stations because it was kind of outlawed in a way, like hip hop. So from that moment, I was just like, man, I want to do this again, but I'm not doing this again until somebody brings me here. So it took like, you know, like probably like 6 years. And then, you know, I struck up a friendship with Vadim and had did like a 50 city tour with him. I think it was like 50 cities in 60 days or something crazy. It was like more than I really knew what we were going to do, but we made it happen.
Right.
You know, we definitely killed the rental cars and all of that. You know, I was like, man, they're going to explode that joint when we're done. But, you know, he just hit me up, you know, randomly, you know, and was like, hey, you know, here's some beats. So I recorded those beats. And then he was like, yo, I got cancer. And I was like, oh, dang, you know, sorry, bro, you know. And, you know, he kind of went through that thing. But then, again, out of the blue, he was like, hey, I beat it. And I was like, oh, cool, awesome. And then, you know, maybe a week or two later, he's like, do you want to go to Russia? And I was like, yeah, awesome. Let's do that, you know. And the funniest part about it was, you know, in a lot of my music, I write about what I'm about to do.
Okay.
So I was doing a song for SC and the Good Doctors.
Shout out to SC.
Because they were doing like a project. It was like me, Vic Mensa, GLC, like pretty much everybody that was bubbling, you know, at that time in the city over SC Beats. But in the song, I was like, next week I'm in Moscow, like, comrade, I'm killing it. And the phone call came right after that, like, yo, you want to go to Russia? And then from there, me and him just hit the ground. Like, you know, I was just like, yo, let's make a groove. And, you know, I'm in his studio just recording, bro. Like, and then any remix he was doing for other artists, you know, from the biggest artists, Billboard artists, to, you know, the reggae artists, I was on the remix, man. So, I mean, it was just writing. We had a studio in the basement there. We had like a house in East Ham, London. And, you know, a lot of the Chicago cats would come visit, you know, and that kind of thing. But it was just that push, you know, like, we got to do this. We got to make this happen. So then he started a label, and then we put out our group, The Electric, and then we did like a 3-year tour, just all around the world, man. I mean, everybody from like, you know, the Converse block party in Brazil to going to China, Adidas, you know, fronting the bill, you know, just really getting to see your dreams, you know. Yeah.
Pugs with the light flex.
The light flex. Just a little bling.
But you know, just getting to see it all, and just getting to see the impact of Chicago, the impact of, you know, my music, the impact of my friends, you know, was really amazing. You know, in certain places, people like Molderman, you know, it's like, word, I know them. We work, we do it, you know, and Juice, et cetera. And, you know, at that time, like, I was probably like the most overseas guy at that time. And it was crazy because I didn't really think about it. You know, it was more like, I think it was the dude from Ruby Hornet, RTC, you know, him pointing it out, like, yo, bro, do you understand? I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're big. You were big over there, man. You're big. You were big over there.
So in this
you
time,
gotta relax though.
So in this,
You're big over there.
but in this time, you know, it's kind of like those same friendships with producers, all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of the people that were just starting out when I was in it heavy, you know, now they're really killing it. So, you know, a lot of them are hitting me up now, like, hey, man, you know, let's do more. Let's do new stuff.
Right.
You know, I'm ready now, you know, so that's been kind of fun, you know, seeing the younger guys, you know, be like, yo, here's this beat. And I'm like, whoa, you done got cold.
Nice.
It's like,
So the legacy continues, man, from let's talk about this Acrobat. We recently dropped the album with Culture Power 45 and the book.
Yeah, so with that, it was like an off and on conversation with Infinito through Instagram. So
Shout out to
occasionally
Infinito,
I would post like
2017.
random old school Acrobat stuff, and he'd be like, "When are you gonna put out the stuff?" You know, and then it would be Mike Eagle would hit me up like, you know, I'll put out the stuff if you don't put out the stuff. You know, is somebody gonna put out the
Somebody
stuff?
gonna do it.
Is it gonna happen? You know, and then eventually I
Shout out to
sat
Open
down
Mike
with
Eagle,
Taiwan, and then I got on the phone with Infinito, and you know, I was like, all right, let's do it. So then, you know, the phone calls began of calling all the people to try to find everything, because I had lost tons of, you know, that kind of stuff in my storage room on accident, like paintings, music, dats, all that kind of stuff. So luckily, my friend K.O. Razin, he had these CDRs I had given to him, and he just randomly hit me and said, "Hey, you gave me these CDs back in the day. I think you might need these."
Ooh, that's how the universe
Timing.
works.
What's crazy is that they've even made it through, because so much on CDRs just
The information
deteriorate.
disappears. Yeah,
They
and
just
like everything played. And the crazy part, I don't think he even listened to the CDRs to know what was on the CDRs. He was just like, "You own these. You told me to hold them for you.
Here they are.
Here you go." So from there, mixing the records and getting it together. But then Infinito was like, "Man, you should do like a magazine to go with the record to kind of explain what the crew was." Because I mean, for a lot of people, you might have missed it.
Right.
And you know, the Acrobats was this thing when I was in high school. I was trying to be in, I think, Jam Crew, and this guy Frohawk Two Feathers, he's like a really popular painter now, killing it out in L.A. He was just like, "Yo, Pugs, you should do your own thing, bro. Like, we old, man. Do your thing." And you know, so I, you know, hit the ground saying I was gonna be NOS, Acrobats Nation of Style, and you know, that was like all the opposite letters was NOS, and you know, a lot of people disagreed with that and was like, "Let's do it." And you know, it became a thing of like 200 kids from Sauk Village to Evanston, all under this flag, and it was all, everybody had their crew, so it's kind of like
We was like the Decepticons.
you didn't have to see me, but you had your team, you know, with you. So it's like you guys could just rep.
I remember when PK brought me to outside of Burger King. The Burger King that was down there by Jones Commercial. He was like, he was like, "Yo, I'm about to be, you about to see the crew," and you know, the whole freestyle thing happened, and I was like, "Yo, this is it, right? Like, this is dope. Like, I want to be in this."
and just
But
so
yeah.
people understand that are on the interwebs that don't know, that aren't from Chicago, I'll say this: the Acrobats are easily a top 5 most influential crew in Chicago hip hop history.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's debatable where they could fall, because some of the other crews may have had like commercial
I
success
concur,
or
brother.
certain things, but absolutely, as far as influential, most up there with the most important.
We don't have to
parts.
mention no other names.
But so with the crew, like the push was very DIY. So it was never about getting a record deal. It was just really about being self-sufficient and teaching everybody how to fish. So like you would come to the meeting, I'm like, "Where's your tape?" You didn't have a tape, you would figure out how to make a tape. You know, and then you would learn how to sell the tape. So some people would take my tapes and go sell it at their schools, or take my gear and sell it at the schools. You know, then other people were like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna make my own shit." You know, like would figure it out and you know keep it moving. But it was definitely like an economy, you know, that we were trying to create. And you know, we threw parties, we taught classes, we taught with the public schools, after school matters, all of that stuff. And it's funny now in looking at it in retrospect, like we all were doing the same thing but didn't even think about it. You know, it was just kind of like I was raised that you make your own money.
Yeah.
So all my friends should make their own money. You know what I mean?
Right.
It shouldn't be on me, you know, to do it. So now it's just amazing to see, you know, guys that own record stores, guys that are lawyers, guys that are doctors now, you know,
Alderman,
aldermen,
Right.
Alderman Prime.
Right.
PhDs, and
podcast hosting shit.
people on
Exactly.
TV shows, actors, actresses, you know,
Everywhere.
all of that, man. And just from this time in Chicago, and you know, often when I think about it and writing the book and sitting down with everybody to get the stories, you know, from their perspective, because you know, obviously I couldn't see it from their perspective. I was just living it.
Right.
That you know, we were going through a renaissance in the city. You know, this was like the next wave of hip hop. You know, kind of like when I moved back here from London. when I was watching the Save Money thing happen at that point, and
Right.
Pivot Gang growing at that point. Like they were having their own renaissance
moment, yeah.
of hip hop and bringing it back and making it fun. Because I mean that was the key element of the '90s, that it was fun. We were
Right.
having
Very fun. Very
I
fun.
remember that.
Nothing was hard. It was just like, oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do. You know.
And we do it.
Yeah. And you could stretch the boundaries were being stretched at the time, and there no one felt like they had to clamp their music down. The art the art was still in the artist.
And it was crashing in a way as well, because the older heads, necessarily didn't understand what we were doing yet. You know? And I mean, we didn't even understand what we were doing.
Of course not.
And like in looking at the book and looking at the music from that time, and talking to different producers, etc., like I didn't understand the influence everybody was having on each other here and other places.
Right.
Like I remember like being in New York for Rocksteady, and like the rappers there, like, you could burn it on CD and sell it. Like that being like a new thing, and I was just like, yeah. Y'all from New York. What do you know?
What you been doing?
But it's just the ethos of Chicago was we have to make it happen, whereas New York is we get a record deal.
Yeah. We are very much we pull ourselves up here.
There's less resources.
Yeah, I mean that's really
you can't
the
wake
thing.
up and just say, "Hey, man, I'm going to Def Jam."
Chicago's always been self-contained, no matter what they're doing.
Yeah. I
Very
mean,
true.
it's
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
mob mentality.
By
you think about Al
necessity.
Capone and all those people,
Absolutely.
like that's what it was. It was like, this my team, we about to get paid.
So let's talk about some style.
Okay, well, with the clothes, man, like
Yeah.
like my mom was a buyer at the apparel center, so like as a young guy, I had like a lot of weird stuff I was wearing, and people were like, what is that? A lot of times. But my grandmother, she owned like 2 thrift stores, so she would have me in there and be like, yo, you sell your old toys, you sell the gear in here, so you get money. And in the thrift store, it'd be crazy stuff will come sometimes. Like I remember like one of the first moments where I was like, okay. It was like 12 North Face jackets came from some ski lodge. This is like 1988. So I'm early, super early. Don't even know what that is, but I'm like, this is a cool looking jacket, So like moments like that of discovering clothes. My dad, he was a radio DJ. So, he dressed fly. Like, I mean, I got tons of pictures of him with crazy YSL glasses and all that kind of stuff. So it was there. But hip-hop let me be able to really experience it, because Chicago was like kind of deadly at that time as well, with the starter jackets, you get shot and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm in Inglewood, so it's like, man,
yeah.
Target. My parents like, nah, you can't be out there with that on.
You can't wear that.
So for me, I really went preppy. I went super preppy. That's why Polo was like, Nautica and Hillfinger, all of that was really my base, because it was kind of like the opposite of what's going on in my neighborhood. So it's like I won't be put in anything because I don't look like that.
You won't fit into any of those familiar spaces.
Yeah. And then also hip hop at the time was kind of preppy. It was like,
it was.
Everybody's got these polo shirts, rugbies, and that kind of stuff. So, it was just that kind of thing of being fresh. And, I really studied it from the breakers side, that breakers always look dope, and then they'll do their moves and still be fresh. Like, they didn't get dirty. I was like, he didn't get dirty.
Right.
He didn't get dirty. He just did a head spin.
Right.
This is a dirt floor. No, he pulled it up, but it was always that kind of thing of being crisp, presenting yourself well.
Exactly.
But in college, I started to design for this brand called Black P, and from that experience, it gave me more like, okay, you could probably make this happen. So then I would just experiment, with a lot of the vintage gear that I would have and cut it up and paste it, figure it out. But certain moments, stand out. Like I remember, I think it was Kanye at the Park West. I was working for Power 92 at the time, and I had just made this T-shirt, and it was like I had cut up this old Adidas Olympic sweatshirt, and had put some patches on it. Then I had dyed the shirt kind of like a hyper pink, kind of like 80s type thing. Yeah. And like he came up to me, just like, yo, where'd you get that? And oftentimes over my years, he'd be like, yo, what color is that on your shoes? Like you dyed those, and I'm like, well, I made it, I did it, So a lot of those kind of experiences gave me more like, you could do this. So
exactly
around 2004 or 5, I met Mustafa Rocks and Brian from Afrowear, and they just accepted that I wanted to do it, and they just took me under their wing. And as they would get projects, they would be like, hey, drop some stuff, let's see if it works. Or they would give me, tell me their ideas, and I would, make it happen on the computer because I was real handy with the computer. Because like for the album covers, I was usually doing everybody's album cover. So if Cosmo got an album, I'm gonna figure out the album cover. If Finito got an album, I'll figure out the album cover. And from doing that, it just kind of translated easy to clothing in the same way of like it's got to look fresh.
Right. I had some Afro wear too. I had the Olympic one, the red and black, the red white.
That joint was hard.
Olympic,
that joint was super hard.
Yeah, I had that was my joint. Yeah, I love that jacket.
Yeah, I remember Rakim. He was happy to get that. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm wearing this tonight." I was like, "Oh, cool, great, great. Let's go." But from Afro wear, they had hooked me up to do a Red Fox and a Malcolm X capsule. Excuse me. Yeah. Of fitted caps, and like that got on like Hypebeast and a bunch of other bigger sites, and I was like, okay, this is really valid now. Yeah. I could definitely move with this. So from there, I kind of started to do stuff with Juggernaut, not necessarily designing, but more so in getting the word out about their brand and figuring out ways to showcase their brand. So they obviously sponsored me, and it's funny, they used to make a size 8 cap because my head was that big. And they would always be like, you're the only person that was 8. But, you're fam, so we're going to make that happen,
Shout out to Raj.
But I started to shoot Juggernaut 16 bars.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, so it was like, figuring out other ways to push the
brand,
message.
Marketing.
And that thing, yeah. So from there, like, I went to London from there, and my flatmate just got passed. He was like a street style fashion photographer, so he had like pictures in different magazines, that kind of stuff. But he knew everybody to the point where he just like, all right, come on with me. I'm gonna introduce you, to who you need to know. And he would just always be like, are you working on your brand? Just do it. You can do it. He just really motivated me. But he took me to Fashion Week, a couple times, took me to a lot of different fashion parties. He took me to different fashion houses. Word. And, I'd say probably the person in London that really, gave me the most, meat, from conversation was this guy, Wale's B-side. He's like knighted by the Queen for fashion. And I was just like, I didn't even know you get knighted for clothes. I
did. Yeah. Man, I was today years old.
But I mean, he had his own factory, he had his own stores,
Hey, that's what Knighton do.
And like, he had done stuff, for everybody from like a Jay-Z to, the top UK people and that kind of thing. So that really gave me the when I came back to like, to do my own thing. But then again, working with who's messing with my music, who's supporting what I'm doing. So at that time, Iridium, we had started to build Platinum from Iridium. Shout out to Platinum. It was this T-shirt I saw. It was like actually another Acrobat dude designed it. I didn't know that till like way later. But this guy Perv, who's killing it right now out in Oregon. He cuts up Nike shoe boxes and makes these crazy sculptures. Super dope. But he had did this Michael Jackson Thriller T-shirt, and he had drew him as the wolf with the green eyes and the varsity jacket. But it was a crazy full front T-shirt. But I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, I need that. I'm going to Poland. I need that. So, I'm Googling how to get this shirt. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I know this guy that owns the brand. And so I hit him up like, hey, man, I'm trying to get this shirt. I'm headed out in, the next couple of days. How can I get it? And he's just like, yo, just come to my house. No. And then, we had a conversation, hit it off, and then he just started hitting me with gear. And, when I moved back, it just started me being like, yo, I want to help to push this further. So, at first I was just selling different pieces because we had like this Egyptian bracelet with like the pyramids going all the way around it. That was really popular. And a lot of people were like, yo, where'd you get that? So then it became like, oh, well, you come to the radio station, I sell it to you, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, he was just like, yo, why don't you like make some shirts with me or something? Bring me some designs, bro. I know you could do it. So I brought him like 3 designs. He picked 2 of the designs. The most popular was this feather T-shirt. I mean, it was to the point I never sold a T-shirt for more than maybe $30, $40. We're selling my T-shirt for like $110. And I'm like, okay.
That works.
This is where we're moving. This is where I should be, Word. So I mean, that shirt, became like, that point in the story where you're like, all right, this is my next move. This is where I should focus my attention. This is what's, what I should be doing. So it turned out to be like a hot seller, and I start coming with other ideas, and then I'm like, bro, we need a store. And he's like, well, if you want a store, find a store and we'll have a store. So I come back, I'm like, bro, I got Block 37, let's do it. And he's like, all right, let's do it. You know, and just that free energy of we can, not we can't, kept that motor going, kept that motor pushing. So,
that positive.
Initially we opened just to be there for like 4 or 5 months tops. You know, we were like, all right, we'll open at Thanksgiving, see how it is by New Year's, and if it keeps going, you know, we'll stay.
Right.
And then it turned out to be like 7 years, you know, with the store, and then we opened one in Wicker Park.
Yeah, because we were store neighbors. We were on the same on the same strip. I was in the Flatiron building with the shop, and you were down the block by the military surplus.
Yeah.
Definitely. I passed by you all the time.
Yeah.
Look at the business brothers.
Right.
But
Cliff and I did the pop up in the store.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With Selma around the hoodie with the comics. Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow.
It's the universe is colliding, yo.
Yeah, but in the experience, I became like creative director of the brand, and then I started to throw fashion shows. I started to, you know, style celebrities and style TV shows, and you know, people would start to shoot TV shows at our store because we had like this ridiculous stock room. It was like a football field next to our store. You couldn't see it from the outside, so you know, people didn't know. But that became like, oh well, we have this reality TV show. Could we shoot? As you know, the people having an interest in fashion, you know, that kind of thing. But you know, from there I started to get hit up, you know, to do like fashion shows at hotels and other places, and you know, just kept growing, you know.
Snowball.
Right.
And the funny part about it, you know, it's kind of like all this time from the Afro Wear days, I had Ushui on my shirts. And it was only because, you know, I was like, I want my merch to be different at the table. My merch isn't just Pugs merch, it's Ushui times Pugs. Because I was just like, I need another name to go with it to make it bigger.
Right.
And, you know, I didn't really think about it till I was looking at my first shirt. And I was like, dang, wow, that was the thing I said. You know, so then over the years, I was like, man, let me put more into this Ushui idea. And then slowly that became my main thing, you know.
Yes,
so now we're here, and it's coats and everything else, you know, I've gotten to make under the brand.
All the fly shit.
Yeah, we
rolling.
Yeah, we see you. We definitely see you, man.
Yes.
We see you.
Yikes. So Pugs, what you got coming up with the new music? I know you mentioned a new video. What's cracking with this?
So right now, it's Mad 95 is from my maxi single called Geronimo with our producer Stone Flacco, and then with the video, I had my homie Joshua from the Galapagos 4 Days.
Oh, what up, Josh?
He designed the characters, because initially I was like, yo, man, I want you to do my album cover, and he did the album cover for me. Then I was like, bro, I should animate this, bro. This would be pretty dope, you know. So then, like, he let me get more of his characters, and then I added them into my kind of style and landscapes and all that kind of stuff, and it just really worked out. It worked out really well. So, you know, that's the push.
We did animated video as well. What's the Lost?
Yeah, Lost. Yeah. Kaz, he did the photography on that joint.
Yeah, that shit's dope.
Yeah, with Goyo. Goyo did all these metal figures for me for that video.
Yeah,
Big up to Goyo, man. Grizz G. The one and only. But right now, I'm gearing up for like a new album with Brian Ford. Got a lot of special guests on that album. We still haven't figured out quite the date, but that's like the next music thing really coming. Okay. And then I got like an art show, my first solo art show. It'll be September 10th at Connect Gallery.
Oh,
So yes.
Congrats.
Thank you. But it's sculptures, paintings, figures. It's a lot of stuff, man.
Oh, this is gonna be
you
heavy.
gotta be there. You gotta be there.
Yeah, we will be in attendance.
September 10th to October 22nd.
Okay.
I'll be up there.
Yeah, we will definitely have
Fly
to be in
Nerds will
attendance.
crash.
Yeah, we will crash. we will definitely crash. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, bro.
Oh man,
I'm in here, man. I'm like a fly nerd.
You are.
It is exactly.
You are
Certified fly.
And speaking of your clothing line, Ushui, smooth little segue into the next artist that we kind of want to talk about, who just dropped the album, Andreas Haley, another Chicago artist.
Yes.
Who's done some modeling for you and has promoted some of your gear.
Yeah. That's the homie, man. His producer, all purpose beats, like that's like my brother-in-law by marriage, you know.
Okay.
And it was crazy, like when my sister, you know, started to date him. I'm like, I know this guy. I saw him at the Metro, and he had some good beats. Because he was in like a beat battle, you know, whatever. But he had hit me up, and he was saying, you know, he's working with Andre, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, I think you guys would be a good fit." And then Andre, he was super geeked about the gear, and then we just went from there.
Yeah,
but his new project's dope, man.
Yeah, it goes hard.
With it.
It goes.
That Grizzly record is hard.
That's Grizzly is hard. Rain is hard.
Rain
goes real hard.
Nice. Man, I heard the whole joint this morning.
It's dope.
It's potent.
That shit is just tough, man.
When you gotta touch both hands on the mic.
Dude. Yeah, I had to go in rapper mode real quick. For real, that shit go tough, man.
That's a hard album.
Yeah. We are definitely gonna have him on the show in the near future. Cause that album is just damn good, and I enjoyed it thoroughly today.
Yeah, and it was just long enough.
Yeah, but that's the key though. Like, oftentimes, like when I do a show, people are like, "Man, you just did that little time." I'm like, "Bro, that's all they needed.
That's all you need."
Other times it's an hour, but sometimes you just need 15 minutes, bro.
15
you
to 20 is
you
good.
gotta fill the room.
That's
you
a
gotta fill the room.
Absolutely.
15 to 20 is
Where's
good.
Where's your best placement when it comes to shows? Like, where would you be? You like headline? You like close to headline, or you like the top? Put me in the top. Where your
It depends on
spot?
how many artists it is.
There you go. There's that magic.
That's the
there
first
you go.
one.
That is.
If there's a lot of people on the bill, I want to go in the middle.
Yes.
There it is.
But
there it is in the middle.
if there's only
The sweet
2
spot.
acts, I'd rather headline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we talking 3, again in the middle.
Okay.
The middle is always the best.
It's a sweet spot.
That's the
Because
sweet spot.
I tell you, man, at House of Blues, I definitely crushed some headliners. I made it hard.
That's what Chicago do.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Nah, but you got to read the room. You know, sometimes I'm like, that's not my crowd. I need to go first.
Yeah,
you know?
get it out. Yeah.
Other times I'm like, nah, they here for, man, come on.
This your show.
Right.
Come on.
This your show.
They're there
ready.
for you. Yeah. You got to read the room. Reading the room is essential when you get up on the on the
That's
stage.
MC skills.
That is MC skills. That's part of MCing. MCing is more than just rapping. People tend to neglect that sometimes. It's not just
master of ceremony.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
everything, really.
Everything. Everything.
Word.
But yeah, big ups to Andreas Haley. If you everyone watching, make sure you go check out
that
Beat the
album
Odds.
out.
It's
Yeah.
on Spotify.
We
It's on Apple
certified.
Music.
Certified fly.
Certified Fly. Madden 95, also Certified Fly. Make sure you play that video, share it, rotate it.
Matter of fact, let's give them a little peek of it, man. Let's
Y'all
play-
would do me the solid and play.
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Look at that.
yeah.
This is my
Play the joint.
favorite
Check this out.
podcast. now.
Introduce your video.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce your video.
Right now, you're about to watch Madden 95, produced by Stone Flacco, animation by me, characters by one Josh Grotto. Enjoy.
All right.
Feel good, don't it? Feel good. Feel good, don't it? Feel good. Took a lift to my Uber, riding to kill your future. Excited, ignited a riot. Now you're indicted. Like handcuff hands, while my hands on the dagger, though tic tac, diagonal. My X-ray and bodies flow. Paper cut, uppercut, body blow. I'm Pratt Geronimo, relaxing on the island, though, watching my queen's body glow. In this issue, what kills brain tissue? Scrolling reckless, Saturday night checklist. Email my set list. Why be sick with selfish? I'm allergic to shellfish. Barrels don't bother me. Stimulated my dollars. Higher peer polish on top like garnish. Green lasagna with garlic. Oh shit. She said deliciously awesome. My ingredients together for wins. No losses. Same as I teach my offspring. All things must go. But I just want forever though. I just want forever though. I just want forever though. Ever though.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Fantasy, fictitious festivities, frivolous. I'm referring to what they giving us. Definition of your ending, I start where you finish. It's capital P-A, you know it don't play NASDAQ or the black rap. But one constrict the listener to parishioner. To share what I write like Hare Krishnas. I just scratch you off my hit list. Ian Connor or Uma Thurman kicks. It's the greatest of the grandeur. Carnivorous candor. 7-day noticing, I'm your landlord. See, they fast food trapping. I told them they can't catch up and to keep the napkins and acting. My uncles from J-Mix, they tough to get them. Holding the javelin, my low stadium status, that lives by John Madden.
Messed up at right here. He come with the bar, come with the bar. Should've brought my bar.
It's PA.
You be alright. You be alright, right?
We Sports. It's in the game.
Hey, yo, that was Mad 95 by Pugs Atomz. Thank you so much, man, for bringing that through.
Peace. Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, yo, make sure y'all put that in your rotation. Mad 95,
dope,
yeah, mad
It was
dope.
fly.
Man, put it in your Spotify's.
Yeah, put it in your Spotify, your YouTube,
Spotify.
your
Spotify.
Apples. Put it in your Amazons, your Primes.
Well, really, just put it in your band camps. That's really the
There you
one.
go.
In your
That's
band
the one.
camps. That's the one.
There
Have
you
you
go.
noticed though? Have you noticed like rappers now and producers are like Bandcamp now?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
have totally said forget all the acclimats of streaming.
Yeah, control your
Yeah,
economy.
control your stream,
Bring
control your
that to me.
control
Yo,
your
you
bread.
guys need to do a Fly Nerd playlist on Spotify just so they can go to it.
I think we should do a
Yes.
Fly Nerd album. That's what I said.
mean,
That too.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I
That-
said.
that's
There you
coming.
go.
I mean,
Wow.
because
I mean,
it's
I don't
three.
even
I mean,
talk.
It's three dope MCs, right?
Right.
Oh,
That's
they're ready.
coming.
You saw that. They're like on Blazing Saddles right now.
Oh, you don't even understand.
They're riding in.
These
They're
guys.
They're on the
Look
horses.
at these
They're
guys.
They're like,
Yeah.
Risky could be our DJ. This is
Right, we got, and right now K-Max is
K-Max
sitting over at
gets
home
so
mad. What do you
So
mean?
mad.
What the
Hey,
politicians?
Speaking of Maxi,
Hey, K Max gotta have his one-on-one with Fifth Element for who gets
Oh, that's the
crown.
live. Yeah, y'all got to be
Oh,
ready
wow.
for
they
that.
have
Wow.
a rivalry.
They
gotta-
were
yeah,
rivalry.
yeah.
I didn't know this.
It
Oh,
started with Michael versus Prince.
And it's become something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, all afternoon yesterday they was comparing albums on Instagram. They was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, yo, what you got? What you got? What you got?
Oh, yeah? What
you
about
got?"
this?
Right. They was like breaking out like, "Look, Jay Dilla signed this."
Oh,
Hey, look,
somebody
look.
gave that to you.
Like, yo, you, right.
That's Photoshop.
Right, that's Photoshop. Hey, yo, you don't got the Purple Serato album. Like, that cracked me up.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
That cracked, when Fifth said you don't got the Purple Serato album, I was dying.
That was
oh my
hilarious.
God.
These are collectors,
Absolutely.
man. These are collectors.
dying.
That's
man.
some Fly Nerd shit.
They
Yo,
was-
Fifth went down into his basement.
Yeah,
Like, he was pulling
he
out
dug
joints
in.
on top of the washing machine.
He was like, yo, I'm going into my stash.
He
Let me
came
pull out
clean.
the goodies.
He came clean.
And then he went back upstairs. He went down and up.
So he had a record room upstairs
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
basement.
And the
Yeah.
basement.
Oh,
It's
dang.
like you got your pistols everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
Right. He pulling out the
Oh,
ammunition.
Yeah. He
yeah.
was
was
literally,
pulling
he's
it
like,
out.
I know it's down here somewhere. You know what? It's back upstairs. And he was like, it was real. It was real. It was real. Like, he was like literally pulling out albums from
Yeah.
everywhere. You know, I got that in my bathroom. Fling! It's in my kitchen. Fling!
In the hamper.
Right, in the hamper.
This was in the dishwasher.
Right.
We really need Risky Business to have sound effects back there. Because, like, man, the doom down the stairs needed like
Would've
an
been like-
air horn for real.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
Sound effects
Right.
coming
That was
soon.
awesome.
That was an air horn that
So,
was
yeah,
designed
man.
completely by Pugs.
Oh, there it is.
not till we get the
Get yours.
we air horns.
Hey, nobody heard
Directly
that.
from Pugs.
Horn.
September. Pre-orders.
But yo,
There we
I
go.
want to get into one little segment since we brought K Max up and shit. You know, we all had a part of being part of the CTA Radio WWHBK.
WWHBK?
WHBK. Yeah, my
I was like, wait a minute, what website is this?
WHBK.
He was about to drop the whole website.
www.hbk.com.
There you go. We're in there.
Nice
We're in
save
there.
and
We're in there,
recover.
Yeah, he was about to do the whole drop. He was like, make sure www.hpk.com. Right, he's about to do the whole drop. The whole drop was coming.
Streamer.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I grew up like listening to like KKC and HBK and like 106 Jams.
Yes, sir.
And like the thing
Yeah.
I loved about those stations was like you could call and you could kick your bars off, you know. But it was a sink or swim. It was nothing was like lovelied up. Like if you weren't cold, you were just gonna get treated, you know.
Right.
With the songs, with the other listeners, etc. So I always really respected that. So when the opportunity came, like I was at HBK, you know, religiously, because like I was working at Shrewd, and then I started working with Catch 22, and we had like our own thing. marketing records. So we were doing like I think at that time like your MF Dooms, your LPs.
Yes, sir.
We were
Yes, sir.
pushing all those records. So I'm up there, dropping off records all the time. And then JB Chill was just like, hey man, the guys on Wednesday are gonna leave. Do you want to have a take over? You could sub for me a couple times. And of course, me being me, I'm just like, yes.
Of course you would.
Never did it before. Don't know how to work the board, but yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And then freestyle. I used to freestyle on the Wednesday show a lot with Dan and DJ Natural.
Oh yeah,
all
I'm
the
familiar.
time.
You had me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah.
And we do the battles on air and all that. And then they were like, hey, we give you the show. But I didn't know that also Taiwan and Maxi also were being offered the same slot that, we could alternate or, or we would be fighting, going against each other to get it. So, when I found that out, because I was already friends with Taiwan, but I didn't know Maxi at all at that point.
Dr. Doom.
So, I was just like, hey, let's not even try to have to go back and forth on this. Let's all do it together. You guys know how to work the board. I think I'll be a pretty good host. Let's just work together.
Bada boom, bada bang.
I'm like, I'll figure it out, as we
Pugs
go.
is a magician.
So initially, I was like, oh, man, we should call it like the Betty Ford Clinic since, we don't necessarily know how to do a radio show. So if there's any mistakes, you just, wave it off. Say it was the Betty Ford Clinic. That's the name.
Yeah.
But we found more, foundation in it, and then we came to an agreement that the name would be CTA Radio.
I'm
and
so glad you went with that.
I agree.
No, to tell you the truth, like Maxi and Taiwan definitely did not want the Betty Ford Clinic to be the name.
They was like, we are not about to let this guy call our show this Betty Ford Clinic deal. Like,
Yo, Kai, Betty Ford Clinic?
Like, really?
Yeah, but Taiwan, he did the due diligence and he recorded every train stop on the red line, and I think even a few on the blue line.
Word. That's intense.
And at that point, the thing was serious. It was cemented. Me and him both made our versions of like the bus transfers, and that became our flyer. And we were pushing them everywhere, man. And our whole thing was just kind of like spotlighting the people that people usually don't get to hear on the radio, and interviewing everyone. Because, at that point, popular radio still wasn't really messing with hip-hop
not at all.
in the way that they mess with it now.
Right.
And even now, it's still,
Payola.
But if a Nas was in town, they still had to come to HBK.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we were getting, like, the top-tier artists, but then still we would go with the kid that's 15, that has a dope record, and trying to help them be ready for the interview. Because, I mean, to be honest, like, a lot of people, I taught them how to be interviewed,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I even did, like, Waka Flocka's first interview. Like, I didn't even know this was this man's first interview until after it was over, and the person that set it up is like, yeah, he was never.
Y'all are getting so much Chicago history today.
But
yeah. CTA Radio, mad influential.
Yeah. So with the station, it just became,
You're welcome.
it became a bigger thing. And then initially, I think it was like after the Necrobats, we had parted ways for a time. Kaz, he came part of the show from that because we still all had a connection. So it was like, how can we still be together, So from there, I actually got a record deal with Raptivism for the radio show. And they were like, yo, could you package what you do on the air as the album? So I reached out to Abstract Mind State. They had this record with Common. I reached out to Ron Fest. I reached out to Mass Hysteria. All my guys, all the crew,
all the locals. Yeah, shout out to all those guys.
All the crew got on there. I think Vic Lloyd might even be on there with his group at the time. What was it? No. He was with it was them. They were the Boardroom. They had this dope record called, I think the sample was like Driving By in the Night. Oh, I gotta find that record. That record was hard. It was super hard.
You guys had Know the Time on there too.
Yeah, Know the Time, Steady Sir. I remember he gave me the blessing. I was like, really? You sure? Okay, thanks. I mean, that was such a classic record to me. And, the importance of doing the compilation, again, spotlighting Chicago talent, but also telling the history,
Yes, sir.
So, like, the interludes had, like, Juice freestyling.
Yep, I remember.
Had Iron Moss freestyling.
I remember. Oh, Iron Moss Murad.
Murad, yes. Shout out to Murad.
That's the dog, man. Straight up. That's the God.
Peace to the God.
It was funny, like, with the freestyle, because it's me and him going back and forth, and some of the OGs was like, okay, you could really rap. Because
now you get it.
No, because it was like, I am Moss. He's like a true school MC, so
True.
It's straightforward. There's no pizzazz. He's coming straight jabs, and I'm more of a pizzazz guy. you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, being stripped down and learning to appreciate that, was really, really cool. But I mean, that was a super big moment, man. I mean, I got to travel around, the states for that album. We had like listening stations at all the, record stores.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It
that
definitely
was
became
huge.
a big thing. It was definitely a big thing.
Cause I mean, CTA radio in itself was huge. Like that album came out, like everything was just like blowing big at that time. I remember just being so honored because actually you guys brought me in with my old partner Rain as Paradox. And you played Dangerous Divisions on CTA radio, and I was just happy to be there. I was just geeking out. I was just sitting there the entire show, like I'm on the radio. Like that was like my whole vibe. Like you were like the dopest host. I can't remember who else was in there that night, but it was just a dope experience, man. And like
those nights was crazy. You never know who was in those.
Yeah.
And then the other part was like a lot of the best stuff never was really on the radio. Like, I mean, from the start of the show, people would be in the other room just rapping.
Yeah.
Just
rapping.
in there, just on their
People
own.
playing songs unreleased, all types,
Yeah.
all types of stuff was going. And like that, to me, that was the beauty of it. And that was the reason I was just like, I'm going to keep doing it. Just because it was its own world, that people could come vibing. I mean, even like a young Vic Mensa would be in that record room, and like he's not telling us like he could rap or anything. He's just in there vibing,
Right.
Because he's cool with the Good Doctors, and it was a lot of that of people just saying, "Hey, come up here, feel the vibe, get into
hang
it,
out.
and just all the history in that place, from Common battling Kanye there, the Moment doing all their mix shows, DJ Third Rail, etc.
Idea,
of course, JP Chill. I mean,
Idea and Abilities was up there. We
Oh
had
yeah.
that cypher up there,
That was
so.
during the Blaze battle, man.
That was dangerous.
All the rappers would have to come through there. But the thing that I really loved was I didn't have to ask people. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like after a certain point, it was just, all right, Pugs, I'm here. Can we come through?
Yeah.
That was it. So I mean, it just started to pilot itself.
Yeah,
that's real.
That is real. I mean, you grew the brand, and that brand became nationwide. Like everybody knew CTA
I mean,
radio.
we even had like people rebroadcast our show overseas in different markets, which was crazy because I didn't really know until because I'm not really big on Twitter. I've had Twitter since the beginning because the label made me have Twitter.
Right.
But I would check in occasionally, and I'm like, who is playing
Another
our
light
stuff?
flex. Another light
You
flex.
see how that was? The label made me do it.
Well, no, no. For real. All my social media, I did not start any of them. It was like, yo, if you're gonna do this, you have to have these.
Hey, here was the move too. So you'd be in your car waiting to go up, but you would listen to it, and then as soon as there was a break, you'd call the number and be like, Pugs, we're downstairs. Can we get it? But it wasn't Pugs. It was K Max, and you go, what do you want?
I wonder how many people K Max left out in the cold.
Wow.
Like, K Max, it's risky. What do you need?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're coming up.
Yeah, big
All
up
right.
to Medici Pizza, man. They sponsored our show like every Wednesday, free pizza for somebody.
Oh,
Big
word.
up to them, man.
But keeping on the theme of Chicago history from Pugs and CTA Radio to what DJ Risky Business has going on with the Midway documentary, man. So like give us some details about what you got cooking with the documentary about Chicago hip hop.
Yeah, what's good with you, Risky?
Yeah, so we've been working on this documentary called MidwayDocumentary.com, the story of Chicago hip hop, and it's a documentary kind of like we're trying to tell the Chicago hip hop story to the best of our ability, reaching out to everybody from every part of the culture, MCs, DJs, graph, style, everything, anybody that was a part of it, managers, everybody, and we're trying to get everybody's story to put together and have Chicago itself tell the story of Chicago hip hop from their perspective. We've got almost 300 interviews. We still have a handful.
That's a lot of editing.
There's a lot of editing. We still have. Thank God we took a lot of notes, so we kind of got ideas where we're going. But we still have a grip more to get, and we really have to kind of really hit the dance and the graph side pretty hard. And then then we're gonna edit this thing and we're gonna put it out. We've also talked to like the DeSable Museum about putting together like a permanent exhibit that will stay up there.
Oh, say it.
Yeah,
Another-
so
all
we've
the
met with them
flex.
several times.
Another life
Yeah,
flex.
and that to me is super important because a lot of times
Fly flex.
Fly flex.
Well, no, Chicago history is missing.
it's
Yeah,
missing.
and we
Yeah,
need to
it's
control
missing
the
that.
narrative.
Yeah,
we
it's-
need to
and
control
it's
the
missing
narrative.
that.
a lot of times when you do go over something historical, people aren't even alive to get a chance to see
There you go.
their
The
mark
fruition
on
of it,
history.
Yeah.
So if I can help get something, an exhibit where Pugs can go and take his kids and show, look, this is history in a museum.
This is what I did.
We did this, especially when the city kind of, and I mean, all of us are of a certain age to where hip hop wasn't something. Nobody understood it, right? They didn't. They looked at us as like,
Well, they thought it was all a fad.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
Well,
Everything.
it was never gonna last
fall.
after 5, 10, 20
Everything.
years.
Everything we've done was supposed to be was like a passing phase.
and not
here
only
we
that,
are
but we
thriving on it.
a lot of people looked at everybody like there was like hoods or criminals,
Right.
and they didn't
True.
quite understand that we were the ones trying to avoid everything
Exactly.
else
Yeah, all
by
of that
focusing
shit.
on music.
Exactly.
And and now it's celebrated, but this was, you got so many people. For me to be able to see people that laid the foundation, that were doing, setting the foundation in the 80s and early 90s, and for them to be able to walk into a place or see themselves on a screen and say, hey, the reason why Chance and Common and certain people have these things is because we helped lay this foundation.
Right.
So all those people, and not taking away anything from anybody that had success, but we kind of see everybody else as like the foundation, the building blocks to the house that everybody has there. Like Chance has the fly car in the garage of the house that, Steady Serve built.
True.
So,
True.
that's kind of we want.
Very
we
well
want.
put.
We really
Very
want
well
that,
put.
and that doesn't take away from anything, but we want to make sure that this history is preserved and told to the best of our ability.
That's
Yes,
what's
sir.
up,
Make
man.
sure
Thank you for tackling that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's that.
6 years.
That is a lofty goal.
Six. I mean, we have.
What's the max number you think you will have?
We're gonna just
45
know we're
years.
getting there. Yeah. No, listen. I will tell you, because there are those moments where it's like, well, we got to get this person. We got to get this person. We do have light at the end of the tunnel, definitely.
You have a destination.
And here's the thing, also too, it's Midway itself is going to go beyond the film. And let me make sure I state this: there's no way we're getting 300 plus people in a film. All right.
Yeah,
But what
that's
I
a
always
long
tell
ass
people,
movie.
Right.
we don't know how people are going to be in the film or how what happens as far as like how it's going to be edited yet. That being said, anybody who's done an interview is part of the Midway project as a whole, and their video, their interview will be seen, whether it's on the website or as part of like another section of the home release. I try to tell people that the film is like the 12-inch, and the Midway as a whole is the album.
Okay, I
So
feel
you're
that.
on the album. It may not be the single, but you're on the album.
I better be on that album, motherfucker. No, I'm just
Yeah, you're already
It's a hot
there.
16.
You're already there. You're already there. And Nacro, I can tell you right now, Nacro's story is integral to moving through that. So definitely, like getting
I
Nacro's
was
story
just
is an integral part of the Chicago hip hop story.
And yeah,
It's
that-
undeniable.
Yeah, Nacro is incredibly important, and we appreciate that you started this initiative, that you put this documentary together, and that you have let artists tell the narrative of Chicago hip hop from their eyes
From
and their
experience,
perspective,
not
And we got
from experience.
we
yeah.
got Coach Cheese's interview in Brainstorm.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yes.
goodies.
There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely you've been doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
five,
We
6
gotta
years
get
now.
Ambi.
Yeah, y'all gotta get me. You gotta get me.
And it's done.
There you go.
It's done.
It's
It's
done.
done.
It's done. Here we are.
Welcome to
What's
history.
been like the
motherfucker.
most, I guess, the most interesting or the most challenging interview of all the ones you've done?
I'm
so
gonna
far?
say this: very few people there, and I'm not gonna say any names or anything. There's been a couple people that don't interview well, and it's kind of like it's gonna be kind of like pulling teeth to get like good sound bites out of it, which is fine. That's not what they do. They're artists, rappers, whatever. Their job isn't to be, do a great interview, but we'll get stuff. But for the most part, everybody's been pretty amazing. Like we've gotten great stuff from everybody, and it's their interviews, and you guys have all been a part of it. It's a long process. We do
Mhm.
a couple
Yes, sir.
hour interview,
Yeah.
so a couple hours so we can get however many minutes, but we have a lot to choose from, and we take
the gold, yeah.
to get that gold, right? And there's been nobody that's been really terrible, I would say. I mean, and I'm not just saying that.
That's
I mean,
good.
I could say that, and I could say, oh, we've had a few duds, but I won't name a name. But no, we really haven't had any bad duds, because everybody has good information to share.
Absolutely.
To be a part of that story. You never know what, and the people sometimes, some of the cool stuff, Pugs, has been like where you interview someone that a lot of people might not know, and you don't think that they're a big part of the story as a whole. But then when they say things, they say some amazing shit that makes you, oh my God, we couldn't have done this without you. You had to say that because you were a link to this that made this happen. There's so many puzzle pieces. And one thing I'll tell you, what I learned about this is Chicago's so big, and there's so many styles. There's so many, so much segregation, because obviously the city's super segregated in so many ways, from, we're talking culture to gang culture to everything. So many different segregations. Size of town.
Yep.
You know, the South Side rap's completely different than the West Side.
For sure.
And the West Side's completely different than the North Side.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of, when you were digging in like who's who from the beginning, you kind of realize some people like were always like, yo, I did this first and I did this first. And then as we realized, everybody was doing everything at the same time
in separate spaces,
but they were living in their bubbles.
Yeah, they had no internet to connect.
Yeah, there was no way to know.
Show it.
And one of the things we talk about is how important like the train and even like Sundays with like Super Transfer back in the day, when the people could
Super Transfer
or Navy Pier
or Navy Pier or Burger King.
Burger King, yeah.
State and Lake.
Central places for people to
central places
together.
And Wicker Park as a whole, I mean, it's different now, but like
back then,
you know, back in the 90s,
Lit
people
X.
go to like Lit X.
Lit X.
You go down to see Kendall and
Beat Parlor.
Beat Parlor was huge. DeRoe. You know, we had someone, and again, I'm not gonna say who or whatever,
You
but
say
someone,
rapper X.
we had we had a DJ X who was really like, yo, let me tell you what this is gonna go down. This is how it should be, and they want to know about me and this and that. And we're like, okay,
right.
okay.
Oh, they come trying to vet and check you.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And then we were showing them all the different people we interviewed, and they were like, who are these people?
Interesting.
And then I showed them, and I'm like, and we got interviews with like DeRoe, and they're like, who's DeRoe? And right then I was like, okay, why are we interviewing you at this point? If you don't know DeRoe, and my thing was like this: the whole point of this film, we don't. There's so many people doing so many different things. The whole point of the fucking film is for you to learn something.
Yeah.
You know, it's so big. There's so many things.
Yeah.
You know, me and AMC are doing a lot of research, Kevin Beecham, and we're constantly, as much as we think we know about stuff, it's just one turn leads to another, and you realize you don't know fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to it, and so many stories are so important. So yeah, I mean, it's been great, and we're getting there. We're getting light at the end of the tunnel, and it's gonna come out soon.
Good luck to you.
We don't know how.
That's awesome.
But
May the
it's gonna
force
come out
be
soon.
with
Y'all
you.
support that. That's fly certified as well.
Yeah, that is.
I mean,
fly certified.
straight up,
100%.
all these people, I basically, you know, for lack of a better
like
word,
that
we
fly
all grew up
certified.
together in hip hop, and hip hop has saved a lot of people's lives, and we want to make sure that
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Y'all hired.
You know,
Thank you.
want to make sure that everyone's stories are represented, because it's really important to me.
Well, we appreciate that, Risky, 100%. So
Yeah.
make sure you check out the Midway documentary all about Chicago hip hop.
What's the website?
Yeah, what's the website? Risky?
MidwayDocumentary.com.
MidwayDocumentary.com. Make sure you go there, check it out, support.
And then you go on Instagram, it's Midway Doc.
Okay. There it
Instagram,
is.
Midway Doc. There you go. Make sure you go check that
Please
out.
support.
Dive
the
right
fly
on in.
webs.
Word.
Well, fellas, we mix it up this week. We did the hip hop portion early in the show.
Exactly. It was necessary.
It was healthy.
Yeah, it was healthy.
healthy as
that
fuck.
was healthy eating. That was
Yeah,
a
that
good
was
meal.
Yeah, y'all should be nice.
That was a good.
Yeah,
that was a
nice.
good
Healthy.
meal. So now it is time for the nerdy dessert.
The goodies.
The goodies. So a lot has transpired in these shows that we watch and we love.
Yeah.
And we
yes,
tune into.
Yes.
Things has progressed.
And movies.
Transpired.
Movies have come
Big
out.
words.
Announcements have been made.
Yeah.
And we're going to start on the smaller side and just build it right on up. So Resident Evil on Netflix
Yeah.
dropped. And
Right.
I watched it.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
And it was the most boring cutscene I could ever imagine. It was
well, I mean, it was 4 episodes, so it had
4
to be,
episodes, yeah.
It was 4 episodes,
And they were slightly choppy.
And it was the most boring cutscene. Was I supposed to play a video game in between this to figure out what's going on?
There was things that were missing.
You mean you didn't find your green herbs?
I had all the green herbs and a couple of mushrooms and still couldn't figure out what I'm supposed to understand here.
Yeah, there were some missing elements of the story being told.
I mean, Chris and Claire was in it.
Yeah, but we didn't know. But we didn't know. Like, you don't know where it starts in the story. Like they talked about Raccoon City,
right?
But they didn't really say what happened in terms of what version of this thing.
It was only 4 episodes.
They
could have just gave a nice little,
Okay. I just brief time out on the 4 episode thing. Why does every Resident Evil game include have to end with some dude in a suit becoming a monster?
No, hold on.
Why is that always the damn
That's
thing?
their Stephen King,
Did I not? Cause didn't we not just talk about this on my show yesterday?
Yeah.
Or on Sunday.
It's always some guy mutated.
It always ends the same fucking way, and it's like Resident Evil has so much depth to it, and they resorted to the basic zombie monster.
But do you think this was more to be like an intro?
I don't know.
For people that aren't into it.
It's only 4 episodes.
Is it though? I don't know.
But they might not make it to 5.
Yeah.
For me, it was a snooze fest.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It was a snooze.
So
fest.
It was.
I didn't even watch it, but like, did people? I didn't even watch it, but do people give a fuck about watching video game cutscenes?
No.
Like that kind of animation.
There is a thing for
no
that.
credit to the animation.
No, it was a Resident Evil cutscene, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it wasn't even really
I watched
well
my
done.
son play Resident Evil 4, and it was more engaging than those 4 episodes.
That's the one with
That's
but
what they're
I'm saying,
going.
but the animation is the same cut. It's the same animation from the cutscenes. It's like, I don't want you to give me
The
an
mouths
hour
weren't
of a
accurate.
cutscene.
That taught me how to do a headshot.
The
Really.
they
faces
probably
had
just were
0
like,
emotion.
They had the cutscenes already, and they're just like, hey, why don't
These
we
are some leftover cutscenes.
Exactly.
That's what it is. These are the unused parts of the video game.
Which is why I felt like, was there like a segment of Resident Evil 5 I should have played?
Dramatic pauses and look at the president was involved.
And okay, so what? The president was involved.
So what?
What is
the
that
president
mean?
involved?
What does that mean?
So what? And he was
He was weak.
His involvement was 0.
He was a weak president. The dude came in and yelled at the president like, "This is serious. China's trying to invade us." And he was just sitting like,
right. He told the president what to do.
Like he yelled at the president like the dude just sat there like,
right.
It was weak.
Yeah. What's that guy? What's his name? Wilson Woodrow. Whatever it was. Whatever dude with the slick back hair and the big glasses was. He
looked like Tricky Dick.
Yeah. Tricky Dick. There we go. Tricky Dick with the T virus. Like his whole deal. The whole thing was a Resident Evil cutscene that felt like it just should have been on a side quest game that I could have done without.
None of you guys are making me want to watch it.
You should.
So this was.
I'm saving you, Risky.
This is a Nintendo Wii version.
Cause I don't care about the president.
Man, it's not even a Nintendo. It's a Game Boy side game like that one Mortal Kombat game about Sub-Zero.
But it's in color.
It is in color. That's about the best thing they
Game
got
Boy
going.
Advance.
I think that most of this stuff is all this pandemic shit that they tried to do quickly and cheaply and easily, and then the pandemic ended, and now they're like, well, shit, I guess we gotta release it.
Right. Well, here
it is.
How about this Resident Evil? Like, just stop.
So you want everything to stop? No animations?
So
no movies?
They can.
What about the games?
Oh, the Mila Jovovich.
The games are good right now.
I thought
the
they say they watered the games down because they wanted everyone.
Okay,
to be
4
able to
was
buy it.
dope. 5 was okay.
Okay, I didn't play 5.
5
This
was okay.
last one with the big
With the big
lady,
chick, the vampire chick.
the vampire chick.
And see, I'm not sure what's going on in the Resident Evil story right now. What's
they've
happening?
like drifted away from
it's on
Umbrella.
vampires.
I think it's like Resident Evil is an anthology game series.
Just give me Red Dead Redemption
pretty
2.
much. Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me Red Dead.
But they got
Redemption
this
2.
movie
nothing
coming
to do
out
with zombies.
with the same characters that were just in this anime as we found out, a live action.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said was, I don't want this thing where it's a bunch of tropey zombie shit, and then all of a sudden at the end, some guy comes out as a monster. And that's exactly what we just got, and I'm afraid that's what we're gonna get again in this live action.
That's the Resident Evil
But
formula.
but if they're gonna do it, they could always go into the conspiracy with the virus and that part, the espionage of that.
They always
Scientists or something.
they always neglect that part.
That's the part that's interesting. That makes it different.
It always devolves into how can I
Yeah.
get out of this silo, kill this monster before the plant blows up.
Resident
But
Evil
it
movies
works.
and
But
shows.
if you got enough bullets, if you got enough bullets,
It
and
works
your
for a
green
video
herbs
game.
mixed with your red herbs,
But I
you'll
think
survive.
that's like the challenge right now is like, how do you elevate a video game?
They hire us to do all the writing and stuff
Well,
and
I
coming
mean,
up with some
I
good
think
content.
y'all should definitely pitch and get
Yeah.
that cracking. But
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at right now. Is
Yeah.
like, how do we elevate a video game?
Well, how can you translate the video game into good entertainment? Because this has been the problem with video games since, like, Assassin's Creed. Pick a video game. Mortal Kombat.
The mediums are
Mortal
different.
Kombat movie just dropped was trash.
But
I
that's
was
not because
very
of.
upset. I was
that's
very
easy
upset.
work.
I wasted all
But that's
my
because that's
time.
Warner
It's easy
Brothers.
work.
That's because it's Warner Brothers.
But I mean,
There
just
can
in
be
general.
yeah.
Mario Brothers was a.
I like
Oh,
Mario
man.
Brothers.
My son
You-
likes it. I hate to watch it every time. He
It's
watches it.
hilarious.
Like, this is terrible.
That was
So
like that's like
terrible.
you don't take it seriously.
The new Sonic?
It's John
No, I
Leguizamo.
didn't take it serious, but I was like, I saw Total Recall, bro. Like,
Okay, fair.
I'm good.
Right. Mario Brothers is Total Recall Redux.
Yeah.
And it's Total
Bad.
Recall.
Yeah.
It's Total
But I heard this
Recall
was to
Redux.
redo that though. I heard this was to
The
redo
way
that.
to elevate the video game genre is to actually invest in the storyline, because at this point the technology is there for the animation, and the gameplay that's not in question. We can get superior gameplay is here. What we've always wanted since we got a Sega Genesis is here. We got that part down. So now just invest in the story. Make the story something that the gamer is invested in. Make it where it's not just about, oh, I got Resident Evil and I beat it. Make me care about the story. Make me care about this character that I'm playing as. I'm about to give you 40 hours of my life. Make me care about it.
Well, let's talk about Hideo Kojima's last game and how that was years in the making. It was supposed to be game-changing, innovative. Everybody was...
That game didn't do shit.
Exactly. And why didn't it do shit?
Because
Let's go. Why? Think about
what
it.
was he doing? He had a backpack and walking down the
But see,
hill.
so check it out. Here's
What the fuck was that?
exactly.
It didn't even have the president in it.
Go into it. No president.
It was.
That's why Kyle's was out. He's like, they don't have a president.
So here's where that fell. Hideo Kojima actually makes films into video games.
Okay, so that's
But-
supposed to be the movie.
That was so the way you write the mediums are different. And so the information he's putting into the video game is actually what works for a film or a series. And then when you have a game that you make as a game and then you try to write it as a film, the people who are writing it aren't considering that certain things don't belong in the different mediums. So certain things I see in a Resident Evil game should not go in a Resident Evil
Yeah,
movie.
unless it's like a POV type movie.
Yeah.
Then it would make sense. But to me, I feel like that'd have been an easier out just to make it where it's just straight action.
They try,
like
yeah,
the game.
like Doom, like the Doom movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rock
Yeah.
version of the Doom movie.
Yeah, Doom tried with
Do
the
that-
first
do that
person
work?
shooter.
But think about
Fact.
Doom, like how big of a game that is. You can never capture that in a movie.
It's
Just
impossible.
because that's so much feeling,
it's
emotion.
too big.
Yeah.
It's-
What's the best video game movie ever then?
Good
The
question.
best video game movie?
Wow, that actually is a
Okay,
good question.
so
To me, the best.
Double Dragon.
Oh God, no.
cut.
I don't think I've
Oh,
ever heard
Kaz, can I
anybody ever
Kaz, can I see you? Can I see you outside, Kaz?
He's like, you are not
Well,
a
let's
nerd.
think of, okay, so what are the video game movies that are Resident Evil? So the first Resident Evil was technically a Resident Evil movie.
Sure.
That
The
was
first
actually
one.
worthy.
The first one
The
was a
Silent
Resident
Hill movie was good.
The
the
first
first one.
was okay. I can.
Both are horror themed too.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
worked in the translation. Like the Silent Hill movie was like fucking weird. And the thing, all the creatures don't need explanation because there is no explanation. It's just
Yeah,
some,
just let it happen.
yeah, and they did that. They said, well, this is what it is. This is weird shit. Take it.
Assassin's Creed was ass.
Yeah, that was garbage.
Don't bring that shit up.
Resident Evil 2 Through the Current was ass.
Yeah, they're just the same movie over and
shit's
over again.
trash.
Like Alice wakes up in every movie like she don't know
Yo,
what's
they
going on.
made her Jean Grey. They legit made her Jean like by the end of this thing she was the damn Phoenix.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she had telekinetic powers that were like unexplained. Like was just
Yeah.
I stopped watching those movies.
I don't know
Yes.
if I've seen them all because they all the same.
man. I
so Mortal Kombat's trash.
Mortal
Well, the
Com-
first Mortal Kombat was not. It just had bad special effects.
They didn't have a budget for
They
it.
didn't have a budget. Mortal Kombat Annihilation
Street
was
Fighter
trash.
Was shit.
Street Fighter, right?
Yo, Raul Jr. though.
Wait a
was
minute.
dope
The
as
soundtrack
Okay,
was
okay.
strong. The soundtrack was strong.
Man, and the soundtrack
Ooh,
was
that
strong.
soundtrack.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Pandemonium.
That's hey, the
Far
Saphir
Side
song.
Kid.
yo,
Saphir and Ahmad.
Yeah.
we went all around the
On the
planet,
right,
pitch it, and no one hit it.
I'm the third batter, Severe.
So come with it.
Yeah, that was the dopest Ahmad has ever been in his
Ever.
existence.
Wow.
You're a hater, bro. Ahmad has always been the same
Ahmad
rapper.
is- yeah.
It's just his subject matter, you know. You
that's-
either give it or
Hey,
you can't.
Pugs a big Sophia
Everyone
fan,
loves
too.
back in the day.
I like
Oh
Sophia.
yeah, I like Severe.
Schizophrenic
Sophia's dope.
number one.
He challenged everybody on
Yeah.
on the bar count.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
so
That's
Sophia
true.
is dope
When
as
it
hell.
comes to housing, arousing,
But-
intellect with introspect.
But yes, I think I think
my
the
God.
He's like, I'm listening to it in a different ear now.
so I
What
get,
else?
So Resident Evil is getting the not certified.
Nah, that's not certified.
It
That's not
is
even. It's not even fly.
certified. Do not put it on your radar.
We can't even give the animation a credit.
Yeah, it's a cutscene.
Yeah,
That's fucked up, Capcom.
fair.
That is from
Capcom
Kaz.
is batting 0 with their movies from their games.
But why don't they like team up with people that write good movies?
Good question.
That's a great question.
Like I'm saying, like get Spielberg on the phone, man. Like, hey,
Right.
bro.
Get Fly Nerds on the phone. We can consult with you. We'll figure it out.
Right there.
yeah,
For real, for real.
Spielberg got
Boom,
enough
boom,
money.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. for
Hire
real.
us. Spielberg has enough money. But moving on to something that I think we almost universally have enjoyed thus far, the Disney Plus Marvel series Loki, which has
That old
been
trickster.
delivering on several levels. And this last episode just
The
upped
God
the
of the
ante.
Outcast.
Yeah, this
man.
last
Definitely.
episode upped the ante by 1,000. I
Dude,
felt.
It
This
took it
shit-
there.
Yeah, this shit was wild.
And
How
it had
much-
Kaz's favorite Loki, President Loki.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, that-
Actually, my favorite is Alligator Loki.
No,
God,
but,
dude.
but
Journey
how
into
did they
mystery.
cast that though? Like, what kind of alligators? Are
Like, how do you decide?
Yeah.
Right. How do you decide?
got like
This
that
alligator
top
looks
hat,
more like
like,
Loki.
yeah, what made them decide on the mini alligator
It's
as
the
opposed
eye.
to the
Yeah.
full size
Yeah.
Hey,
alligator?
look,
What
He has
was
to have
the-
beady little eyes.
But that really caught me off guard. That was the point. I was like, all right, we got to turn everything off in the house. I need to really watch this now.
I always say this: Marvel always gives us those gems on these shows, and we live in a world where we just saw a live action Throg.
Yes.
Exactly.
For
Yeah.
real.
We saw Throg.
Exactly.
We saw the Thanos
the
copter.
Thanos
The
copter,
Thanos-
yo.
Yeah.
I want, hey man.
Yes.
That was big.
We saw
I
the
flipped.
Kang Tower,
Yeah,
which is important.
yeah,
That
Very
Thanos copter was from
important.
the Electric Company Spider-Man, wasn't it?
Yes.
yep.
And he was flying
That's
around
digging.
in
That's
it.
some digging
Yes.
right there.
That's digging.
But yeah, so this episode definitely upped the ante in a major way. We got to see all the Lokis interact. We got to see Sylvie in action. So much happened. I'm not even sure where to start the unpacking.
Well, let's start
this one.
Let's start with the TVA because they was just operating functionally normal after all that shit happened in the behind the golden doors, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
nobody saw that.
No,
Yeah,
no one
so-
but Renslayer knew.
Renslayer,
Yeah.
B-15,
and B-15.
and then they got rid of Mobius immediately.
Yeah.
So nobody knows about that.
Damn. So yeah, so that happened and they flashed straight into the void.
Yeah, with them
Yep.
with Loki waking up to the Loki League,
Right.
the League of Loki.
The League of Lokis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not ready. He was not ready.
We
Nah,
all
and
wasn't
he's
ready.
so confused.
Yo, his reaction was so real as he was talking to them. He was like, wait.
But that's a
wait,
Loki.
Hold up.
So that's the alligator's a Loki, and that doesn't even seem strange.
But I almost thought he was gonna be like, "Am I dating myself?" I was waiting for like that bubble to pop
Yeah.
somewhere in there where he gives that strange look to the camera.
But
or
that works for
something.
Loki.
Yeah, it does work for Loki, and I love Kid Loki is
vicious
was-
Oh yeah, he was the killer.
Super
He was-
dope.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
the
he
killer.
So he said he killed Thor.
and
Yeah,
without
yeah.
a flinch.
That was so
So-
hard.
Without a
That was
flinch.
so
He
hard.
was like,
is
"Oh,
that-
you
but
testing
wait,
me?"
Is that Thor Throg?
No.
Because-
nah.
Thor. He killed.
Nah, he
that
killed
turned him into a
Thor,
frog.
Yeah,
his
yeah.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
I would assume that's
Loki's
classic
tough.
Loki that probably did that.
That classic Loki. So
Yeah,
ridiculous.
classic. Like in the books, it was classic Loki responsible for Throg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and for the 3 issues that Thor was actually a frog, that was classic.
But I
Loki.
mean, he was buried underground.
That was Walt Simonson, right?
Yeah, that was a Walt Simonson run.
Yeah, what a
on,
great run.
on Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, an amazing run. But But yeah, so we get so many Lokis, and Lokis do what Lokis do. They betray each other. It's
They betray
chaos,
everybody
they
and
betray
everything.
everybody.
That fight was
awesome.
great.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
that
the
was
fight.
dope.
And the frustration of classic Loki again, who stole the show, because during the whole fight, he's really irritated by this, and he's not affected by it because nobody could fuck with him in there.
Right.
None of the
Yeah.
Lokis could touch him, so he's walking out while he's got illusions, and the illusions are kicking ass, and he's walking off. Fucking Lokis, you know? Like,
like they was like kids on his lawn.
yeah, like
Yeah, he's over it.
Like I had plans
Yeah.
today.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
This was not what I was sitting here having tea. Everything was cool. Everything was chill. The alligator was chill. Like
Now the alligator set it off.
He
though,
did
man.
set it off. Yeah.
Oh
he
wait,
was-
and the alligator. They did get help from the other movie where he comes in with the alligator and
Yeah.
he throws him at him.
Yeah, he throws him at him.
Oh yeah.
But the alligator was just
I'm not
jumping on
doing get help.
motherfuckers. He didn't care.
Nah, he was an angry.
Yo,
man.
but,
He was
but,
like,
but
"What
he
you
was-
say?"
Yo, but he was salty about be eating the wrong cat. Cause that's why he got banned. He
Yeah.
ate the wrong cat. Like he was real salty about
Like of
that.
all the things,
of
like,
all
That
the
was
of,
personal.
of all
That was below the belt.
Insignificant.
That
Right.
was really
Minor
below the
error.
belt.
But then Sylvie and Mobius show up after we see Sylvie and Renslayer have this confrontation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Where-
it looked
where-
like, so is Renslayer, is she's plain stupid or
No, she really
don't-
wants
She
to
knows.
know. And B15 made it clear when she read her and was like,
Oh, she read her like a book.
you want to know what's going on too. You just trying to
Right.
keep your position of power in the process.
Yeah.
She wants to maintain control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's obvious as far as the rank and file TVA is concerned. Renslayer is the end all be all.
Yeah,
Like-
she
like-
was
like,
the only person that talked to the
she's the
so-called
only person that talked to the so-called timekeepers.
So do you think this is where she ends up meeting and starting that relationship with?
Well,
if
so
it's- if that's what happens with
That's
the Kang?
interesting.
See,
They put more questions than answers. So
Yeah.
if we
Because
dare.
I think she moved up rank. How you move up rank and you let your Loki escape?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the question, right?
But
in
she's-
front of the.
but she's
know?
I
brought-
think
but
he was
she's brought in
supposed
so
to
many
escape,
others.
Maybe, you know.
That's
That
interesting.
is a divine timeline.
Because
Right,
I mean, they
it's-
already
yeah.
know what's gonna happen. So, I mean,
You would
know,
think, right?
But
Glorious
I
purpose.
did think though, like when she was running through like the library, like that, it was gonna like have an error or be like I can't access. You know, I was
Yeah.
expecting
Yeah,
that moment
yeah.
to happen,
Yeah.
but
And it
we
never
didn't get
did.
that moment.
Yeah, it was an odd stall for the time ship though. That was clunky. The time ship stall was a little clunky. Like I kind of felt like the episode could have done without the mention of the void ship.
Well, no, I think because there's a reason for that. We just don't know what it is yet.
Maybe should Renslayer pilot it to the void. Maybe that's the deal.
Somebody will.
But we get to the void. We get to this end of time place.
yeah.
And for those of us who are familiar with the comics, we know that the void at the end of time is where Immortus is, and Immortus is Kang.
Yep.
Right.
So I would like to believe that Alioth was actually Kang is Mortis's watchdog.
Yeah.
And that's actually works.
I would like to.
That
Watchdog?
is in the comics, right?
Who
Yeah,
Watchdog?
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the
Immortus
connection.
is.
Oh, Immortus.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought
Which-
you said Mobius.
No,
Okay.
No,
Immortus.
Immortus.
That is Immortus.
The
Alright, I
the
got
angry, frustrated Kang.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do you
the
think
bit-
that'll be like at the end?
yeah,
That'll
So
be
that's
like
in the
final
mansion?
scene or-
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I
and
think that's in the mansion.
Immortus is in the mansion.
I think
Yeah.
I think that.
Ooh, that's surpassed Kang.
So,
But see,
yes.
Immortus is what Kang desperately doesn't want to be.
So we can still do the
So
other
you
story.
could you could still do everything else about Kang because he's always trying not to be Immortus. Remember, he sees Immortus
I'm
as,
gonna
as
pass out
weak.
if it's Immortus.
Because if Immortus is at the end of time, he's there plot figuring some things out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
You gotta
hasn't
make
he hasn't
sure the
started
shit
his
is right.
conquest yet.
yeah. And remember, Immortus gives up
There's
the
a,
conquest. So
I mean, the whole thing about Kang is he's trying to keep his future intact. So
Exactly.
he needs to control time.
Which is the
best he can.
sacred timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I saw in a video somewhere, and they were talking about the genius of this Loki show and why it's important that we're seeing it right now,
Mhm.
is Far From Home or,
Yes.
or No Way Home is going to blow open the multiverse scenario in Marvel. So what we're doing here is doing what Marvel does best, is getting the general public used to variants. So now when you go and see 3 Spider-Men,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to
You're
understand
prepared.
it. You're
There
prepared, and it's
was-
going to make
right.
sense.
There was 15 Lokis in this episode.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of
Lokis.
Lokis.
A lot of Lokis.
A lot of Lokis for one episode.
Loki,
Yeah,
Loki. A lot of Loki.
that's a lot. That's a
All
lot
right,
of Lokis.
there's a who's the tribunal head was
The
present?
living tribunal.
The living
the
tribunal.
statue of the living tribunal was there.
So isn't that like the timekeeper? Before
No,
the
that's way
timekeepers?
beyond.
Way beyond.
If the living tribunal is involved in your affairs,
Yeah, you don't want
it's,
that.
it's over.
Oh,
That's
It's-
done. You do not. That's one of those. What?
Extinction event.
Yeah. Well, that's what Marvel has labeled as like some of their cosmic aspects. Like if
Like,
you
he's up
actually
there, up
behold eternity,
Yeah.
you are at the end of it all.
Yeah.
Like if you can witness the full, like if you are standing on the opposite in the white space and you see eternity,
Like God doing
Something
that.
I mean, the only people that see eternity is Strange.
yeah.
Yeah.
Strange is one of the few people that can see eternity.
Yeah.
But
That's my
if us as regular people see eternity, we've done something very fucked up.
Yeah.
And we've tripped into the end of it all, and that's just what it is. Same with the living tribunal.
So I got a question, and Kaz, forgive me if you're getting to this or not, but I'm curious if with this situation with Loki, and can Loki now go back? I mean, he can do it. Go back in the other timeline to where
It's gone.
the real timeline to where
no-
he left.
It's gone.
That timeline's gone.
Yeah.
Because he can go and save himself, and then that timeline, and then that Loki can come back.
That would be another. That would create a new timeline.
A new timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Nexus event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Loki's.
I would arrest you if you told me.
if you're dead. But that's the thing. If you're dead,
He's so the thing is that anybody that was a deviant or variant rather, they put them at the void. They took them to the void to keep them away from
To stop them from
yes,
making
to
Nexus
make more
events.
Nexus events because
Yeah.
apparently we know that Sylvie makes Nexus events everywhere she goes,
Yeah.
and apparently Loki's in general repeatedly make Nexus events.
because of their mischief.
But
yeah.
are
Yeah.
they the only ones? Like, I'm curious to know what else is out there besides
They prune
Ilioth.
more than Loki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
they
gotta be
prune more
way
than
more.
Loki. They
Yeah.
said they prune Titans, they prune vampires.
Yeah.
So
I see all that.
and we seen that they just prune regular people. Like
Yeah.
like homie was just like, I was on my way to the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's pruned. You know what I'm saying?
And if
But-
they
but
prove
what-
vampires, are we going to see vampires in limbo
Oh, in the void.
in the void? Yeah.
Well, see, that's interesting.
and what is the name of the group that Immortus always puts together? The Legion of the Unliving. So I mean, it's all
Yeah.
everything
it's
is right
kind of
there.
coming together.
Everything is right
and
there.
did you guys see
God
that yellow jacket?
Yeah,
I-
the helmet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mistakenly thought it was Giant Man because
Yeah.
I just kind of briefly looked at like, oh, look at the Giant Man
So,
helmet. But yep,
Does
it's the
that
yellow
bring us
jacket.
back to the quantum realm? Is
Yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely brings
because
us back
we
to the
know. Well,
quantum
we
realm.
know that Yellow Jacket went somewhere. He got
Yeah.
pulled somewhere, and probably being pulled somewhere, he violated something. Because once you go into the quantum realm, you automatically are time
Sure.
traveling.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we know that he's returning in the next movie as well as the return. Oh, that's where Kang is gonna first make
Sure.
his
Yeah,
appearance.
Quantumania, the Ant-Man and
and
Wasp,
rumors of
Quantumania.
Fantastic Four and all these other people are gonna be in it.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, this Loki said we got one episode left.
This is it.
This is it.
So
I don't think they're gonna wrap it up either.
So Sylvie, she can enchant clouds and shit.
So it's not.
It's a
We don't
living
know what it
being.
is.
It's a living being.
It
Yeah,
looks
that
like
part-
a.
that part
It's
was
it's
real
the
sketchy.
nothing from
Yeah.
Neverending Story.
yeah,
That's a
it's-
good. That's a super good
It
Yeah.
analogy.
what the thing that didn't work about it for me was that they showed that once its tendril touches something, it decays. So them grabbing the tendril
Yeah.
didn't
How you
that didn't
reverse
register for me and as part of the physics that you just showed me. Like you just showed me the
I don't
tendril
think-
touches something and it decays.
Does the tendril actually decay things? Or
I mean,
was it-
they showed it touching other things as it rolled. Like, of course, everything is.
I
Pulled
think it's
in,
the
but
bigger. I was wondering that because I figured maybe the enchantment that they were doing is what protect their magic.
That's what I was
protected
gonna
them.
say. Is there
Yeah.
magic protecting
Yeah,
them
magic could
against it?
protect them. That is true. Magic is a thing. And man, let's big up
Or they
classic
were
Loki.
projections,
Yeah, I was
you
just
know?
about to get into classic Loki. My bad.
Go for it.
Yeah, let's big up classic Loki, man. What a final stand.
Richard
man.
Grant, man.
Richard Grant, man. What a
thing.
way to go out. What a way to go
Yes.
out, man.
He
Making
built everything.
He got his whole story arc in the whole episode.
Yes, he
as well.
did. He did. He had a
'Cause
complete
he said
development.
some clever ass shit. He talked about magic and about
Yeah.
swords.
He
and,
explained. He gave Loki purpose that was beyond what he know about.
yeah.
Yeah, and he pointed out, he's like, you guys are stunting your growth by depending on daggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
very real.
he pointed that out, and that just goes into actually classic magic tropes why wizards don't wear armor because metal and such things tend to impede magic.
They have
and,
different elements and properties.
Yeah,
that affect
elements
magic.
and properties. Yeah, in the fantasy realm, metal and magic actually don't go together.
Unless you're an alchemist.
Yeah, unless you're an alchemist. Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you're an alchemist.
But he also talked about like how powerful he is. He created an illusion to trick Thanos.
Yeah.
Into killing
so
that
real.
Loki. And he survived Infinity War.
Yeah. Well, we saw his illusions.
Yeah. Look at that
like,
Asgard. He
it was
made a
whole
Asgard.
and it was like real. That it deceives something that eats reality.
Right.
So that says a lot about and not to mention
yeah,
it's a whole Asgard. We're not talking about
he
a
didn't
blanket.
make a building.
A
he made
castle.
Yeah.
He did the most. He definitely did the most.
Yeah,
and he did it repeatedly.
And he was
It
able to
wasn't a
maintain
one-time.
it
he
and
kept
talk
pulling
to
them up.
them.
He kept pulling them
Go.
up.
Like, would you get the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
But you knew he was gonna go though. You were like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is the
you
final
know.
stand.
This is it. This was glorious purpose, as he said. This was his
Loki's
glorious
such an
purpose.
interesting character because in the history of Marvel, he's one of the most powerful, most notorious evil villains there is.
Yeah.
And then he has redemption stories.
Well, and that's the thing about Loki, because he's never wanted to destroy Asgard, so he's come to his defense as much as he's plagued it with problems.
Right.
It's the catch-22. I mean, he's even helped out mortals.
Yeah.
You know, he was integral in Siege.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, he was integral in Siege when the Sentry went nuts and was tearing gods apart.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That would do something.
he had,
The Void again.
Yeah, the Void again. Speaking of the Sentry,
Yeah.
the Void yet again comes up. So that could also clear the path for Bob
setting
Reynolds.
some things up.
So
yeah.
y'all would Immortus in this damn castle.
So
I want it to be.
I'm
it may not
torn.
be, but I
But
want,
you know
I
how
would
they're
like it
gonna
to
do
be.
it. The credits are gonna go, and then it's gonna be him in the castle, but you won't see the face. You're
There
just
you
gonna
go.
see like a little shadow.
What if he looks like Ramen Tut?
Rama Tut.
That actually could work too.
And the Sphinx was there.
Yes.
Was there.
The Rama Tut Sphinx was there.
See, they set it up. They set it up. They did. You're right.
Rama
That's
Tut.
So
true.
it could be any version of Kang. That's
It
what
could be
you're saying.
any
Well,
version
any
of
version
Kang.
is the same. So yeah,
But it's
Yeah.
Kang nevertheless.
because it's time
the
travel.
Kang is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only Kang that didn't want to be Kang was Iron Lad.
Yeah.
He was the only one that didn't want. He was like,
Which
"Yep."
also makes me think that kid was in fact.
Immortus.
Yeah.
It could be.
Like I mean, they gave there's a purpose that kid was in Endgame at the funeral. Like who cared about that kid?
Oh,
No, that's the kid from
Who, the
Iron Man
Harley
3.
Quinn?
Yes, but that could be him.
Oh, you're saying that is
That
an
kid could be the
ancestor of-
that could be
which
the,
is
the precursor.
okay.
Because there's a
Iron Lad. I mean, that's how it went down. I think Iron Lad went back in time though, right? To help
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
he
Iron
did.
Iron Lad was young Kang who knew his future and was like,
Was
"Yo,
like, I want
don't
no
want
part of this.
Yeah, I don't want a part of
They
this.
ain't gonna do it that complicated.
So yeah,
They
no.
gonna
Yeah,
simplify.
okay,
it.
yeah. 'Cause I was
But
about to
Marvel,
say,
I give Marvel credit because they uncomplicate ridiculously
Yes.
complicated
they
storylines.
uncomplicate all right.
Well, let's talk about uncomplicating things.
Okay,
right,
so-
here we
Yeah,
go.
let's talk about it.
Complications.
So
Somebody's salty.
theater
The next bad one. No.
the Marvel returned to theaters this
For the
past
first
Friday
time
for the
in
first time in
years.
years. So we are happy about that. We had a reason to go to the movies, you know,
Yeah.
and see things. Unfortunately, it was what I thought was just a medium effort in Black Widow.
You're polite.
I'm being polite.
You're
You're
polite.
very polite.
I'm
You're
being
polite.
polite.
I really feel though they didn't want to put the big guns out since it's still the end of COVID. Kind of still COVID.
That's
you
safe
know. They're
to
like this
say.
one we could just throw out there.
And-
Yeah.
But anytime,
All right,
if
this
they
is
had
a
to throw it
fair-
out at any time, it would have sucked. though.
And as
I mean, let's be real. 'Cause
in terms of how comics, in terms of how
Here we
comics
go, MB. Let's
It-
go.
it-
Let's talk about it.
in terms of how comics go, this would be considered a one shot with a few lasting ramifications. And the only ramification we need to be concerned about is Yelena below.
yeah, that's the one that matters.
That's the only
That's
thing
it. That was the
They
whole
set
film.
the movie
Yeah,
up for that.
Which it would have been better as a Disney Plus series.
Or they should have released this one just on
I
Disney
didn't want to
Plus
see that
in
as a
general.
Disney.
They
Plus,
needed to
bro.
give it a movie
sit through
treatment.
that like for weeks. No.
I mean, I think as far as you putting together a
Maybe
movie
put them,
for
flesh it
this
out a little
character,
better, you know.
If you put a movie together for this character that's been down with the team for 15 years or something, I mean, put some heart into it. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
get to the meat.
Get to
Yeah.
the real
Yeah.
with the real
Yeah.
story, because let's talk about the first problem.
go ahead.
This is supposed to take place immediately after Civil War.
Okay.
Yep.
Civil War was a Russo film. And it was
Absolutely.
sandwiched between Civil War and Infinity War, which is also a Russo film.
Absolutely.
Whoever did this, I don't even want to give their name. They did not have the right to try to insert themselves in that space
God damn.
with espionage and any of that
Damn.
after Russo. Before Russo, there's like you gotta be a Pugs to be put in between
hard.
two acts,
It's
right?
hard. It's
Like,
hard shoes to fill.
That
So my question is this:
that's a
Floor
rough
is hot
If-
over here.
shouldn't-
Burning
should-
people.
Lava. Should they release the Black Widow movie way before?
No, it wouldn't have mattered because even in whoever decided to do this film did not consider what was happening in the universe. The Red Room sitting in the clouds, really?
Yeah, that yeah.
Just sitting there?
A little
I-
too much.
It's weak. It's stupid.
It was out the way.
I would have actually have appreciated a little bit more of classic Soviet stuff here because this
Yeah.
should have been
like in an abandoned nuclear silo.
this should have been in this should have been
Well, really
in
feed it out.
yeah
In
Yeah.
Chernobyl.
yeah, this should
something like that, right?
this should have been in it should have been the Red Room should have been placed directly in Russia where it was because the whole
Guarded by
Because that's
Ursa
where no one
Major.
else would be able to go.
because it's already we know just from legit U.S. our history, world history, period, that there are still elements of the KGB that exist.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
As
In shadow.
independent factions that are still selling weapons and doing all that.
So if you can have Shield, if you can have Hydra, you can have the Red Room hidden away.
The
somewhere.
whole
Exactly.
opening scene, the whole opening thing with them being Russian spies is so legit and so real.
Yes.
It's based off
That
of
was
so
dope.
many real
And
stories that,
Yes.
happen
That
here
was
in
dope.
America.
Right, that
Manchurian candidate
yeah,
shit.
those Manchurian candidates
What was
exactly.
that one lady who was a model? She was
I forgot her
I
name.
forgot
but
her
I know
name,
who
but
you're
she was
Yeah.
a Russian spy.
Yeah, she was a Russian spy.
living
She-
in like Cleveland or something.
Yeah, living in suburban life.
Right.
But I think like if they'd have went with that storyline and just let that be the movie of them
Yeah.
just being spies and you just got hints of the other stuff in it, I think that would have been way more.
It would have been.
So
when
no
they
family.
when they get to the
Take
Red
the
Room,
family portion out.
I think
Mm.
actually
Should have just been Black Widow and Yelena.
nah,
No, the family portion works.
the beginning for me worked. I would have been. I think where they missed the call was they should have made the girls fully indoctrinated at that point. The
Yeah.
girls should have been just as G as the parents.
Yeah. At least one of them was.
One of them should have. Yeah, one of
It's
one.
just the little girl wasn't.
Yeah, but they should have both. To me, they should because to me the training, the way the Red Room is presented
Is that they
is this
from-
harsh regiment
Yeah.
that is unforgiving.
Yeah.
So why would they send a possible leak into the field in that little girl without proper training? It didn't match the narrative. It didn't. It didn't match the thoroughness
Yeah, and what
of the
purpose
narrative.
would she have served there? They didn't need her there at all if she
Yeah.
wasn't trained when they already had the other three
Yeah,
trained.
with Natasha being like already, Natasha could fly a plane.
Yeah,
at,
she was a
at
little
age,
girl.
at age
Yeah.
11 or whatever.
And
she
could
was.
disarm a soldier.
and could disarm a soldier.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
So-
that was
Coach,
weird.
She
you
could dye
wanted-
her hair blue. So what else is new?
You
I mean,
want
that was
when
just
they
part
get
of
to
the-
the Red Room that is guarded by Ursa Major and the Titanium Man.
That I would have been great if we would have gotten Crimson Dynamo.
They
and,
mentioned
and
him,
they mentioned them,
but it
or
was
the
more of a-
Gremlin or
yeah.
Ursa Major or the
Yeah.
rest of the
I
Soviet
thought you
super
liked
soldiers.
Red Guardian.
I did like Red Guardian.
Red
'Cause
Guardian
that-
was the
that's
a
deep
fun
cut.
part of the show.
That's a deep cut.
It was
I-
way
fun.
funnier than I thought it was gonna be.
I thought Red
But
Guardian
he was the
fun.
butt of all jokes.
And-
I mean,
and
his
he-
highlight was the his
Yeah.
highlight was the arm.
and that was the point.
Or
is
him always saying that he was with Captain America
Yeah.
when he
Yeah,
was
well, I
not.
did. I like that.
Yeah,
I
he
like
was.
that.
He
Does
was.
he talk about me?
Yeah,
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I liked him as the loser. I was okay with him being the butt of the joke because I mean, come on, it's been 7 Red Guardians in publication.
Yeah.
Who gives
Sure.
a shit?
And Russia lost, so the Red Guardian would lose.
Yeah. And yeah, Russia lost the Cold War, so the Red Guardian would lose. It goes right with
Yeah.
everything else that goes on. He was he was chasing glory that he used to have, or kind of imagined he had.
Yeah, because it's
He
clear.
didn't fight Captain America.
No, it's
ever.
impossible.
Of course
He
not.
was in jail before Captain America was even out of the ice.
That's not.
I will say this: looking forward, I am absolutely excited to watch the Elena Belova character move forward as a Black Widow.
Now
Yeah.
she
Chasing
sold the
Hawkeye.
show.
That's what everybody's
Yeah.
waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you kind of went.
Yeah,
And she's
sure.
gonna be a proper Black Widow. She reminds me of Natasha in the comics.
Yeah,
And I like
her
better, too.
cold-hearted attitude, the way she fights, she's
Yeah.
no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Natasha, they spent so much time trying to humanize her and make her more of a sex symbol in many ways and a love interest and all this other shit that the only reason Natasha ever did that in the comic was because
it suited her purpose.
Yeah, she was serving. She was not just like chilling.
Her whole
I want to run away with you, Bruce.
Right.
Like, no.
Her whole introduction in the comics was manipulating
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
That's the difference of what we was talking about before of like Lost Whedon filming those like
Facts.
big popcorn
Versus the
Avengers
Russos.
movies, Hollywood shit,
Yeah.
and then Russo's coming in with like Winter Soldier and Civil War and really
Made her a
correcting
beast.
these characters.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like this movie is cool, but Black Widow dope as shit was in Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That movie. She was throwing hands. She was diplomatic.
She was being a spy.
Yeah, she was being.
She was being the super spy that we know her to be.
And that's where this flick failed too, because if this is supposed to lead up to what happened in Infinity War when we saw her, Cap, and Falcon, the one at the end of this movie was a soft little punk compared to the one that was in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So
But
what
that's-
happened?
No, but that's why I was expecting like for her nose to get broken and her just to go ballistic.
Go nuts.
Just
Yeah.
you know, just blood everywhere. I was just really like, come on.
Yeah, let's get her in. Let's get her. Into
They
that.
flipped
wasn't
Melina
it,
too.
'cause-
I thought she was gonna be the Iron Maiden, but they just kind of flipped her character.
Well, they flipped a character that I'm kind of upset
Well,
about. This was the
they
one,
literally
one
flipped.
of the main reasons why I was excited about. See, let me stop. My auntie used to tell me, follow your first mind. Meaning, follow your intuition.
Yeah, of course.
I saw this damn trailer. I wasn't excited.
Yeah,
and
none
I
of the
told
trailers
y'all,
moved.
I
You told me,
wasn't
yeah.
excited.
You said
I'm
that
not
from day
excited
one.
about this shit.
You said that from day
It
one.
was-
It's your job. It's your job.
What are you gonna talk about next week?
You're right.
Exactly.
Right. So one thing. Yeah. The whole house.
Yeah, rounds for everybody.
So
But yeah,
So I saw the trailer. I wasn't excited, but one thing that got me excited was this character, Taskmaster.
the real task.
You know I love villains, man. So you know,
But you've been waiting to see that. you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's like actually his skill set makes sense and it's fucking dope. You know what I mean? If it's translated on film, right?
Pass them down.
It would be dope if it was translated on film correctly, and it was not.
And Taskmaster is a perfect character to be introduced right now because that would set the stage for other characters that they're about to introduce. You know,
Absolutely.
even on the skill set level, like Taskmaster is a beast.
So we
perfect
talked
for
about
Thunderbolts.
Taskmaster
Yeah.
before. He could mimic anything,
Anything he
any fight
sees.
technique.
Physically,
he
yeah.
sees.
Anything he
Yeah, well,
sees.
anything he sees. So a person who could go in and like memorize, like that whole crafting thing, I think that should have been in the movie. Like someone studying this. Like we even compared like Kobe doing the Michael Jordan tapes. where
Yeah.
he
And
could
they
write
did
it.
show him watching the Hawkeye.
Nah, I
footage.
wanted to. Nah, that's that. But see,
That was
this
not
this
it.
But
this
was
Taskmaster
more
was
of
was a
jump
Winter
drive.
Soldier.
You put a jump-
But the
It's like
problem was it
Neo.
was downloaded.
It's like
It wasn't
Neo.
a natural.
Yeah, it's like Neo. Oh, I know kung fu.
Yeah,
At least I don't.
Yeah, it's
we don't
like,
really
it was
know
chip.
if it
All
was
the
natural
shits,
or not.
man.
it was
I
chip
think they were
based.
downloading. They were chipping that
Yeah,
stuff
that
in.
was-
Yeah,
so
they
that
were just downloading it in.
It's
What?
weak. No
Yeah,
personality.
yeah. It was the
was like a
Matrix
this is-
effect.
This is
Yeah.
how Taskmaster's supposed to be. The screen's there, and he's with a beer, feet up, watching something, watching.
Ghetto.
He's supposed to be a normal guy with skills, and then he
And
challenges.
he has a lot of character.
Yeah, he's a personality.
He's funny.
He's become funny because
Sure.
in the beginning he was just a goon. Yeah, and that was just it. And he was a coward in the beginning.
Yeah.
Was?
Yeah. Oh, in
Well,
the
he was.
beginning.
Yeah, he was the.
Yeah,
the,
it was like
the
if you don't-
Hydra trainer.
Yeah, he was like,
Chicken Little.
I'm here to train troops. I don't fight Captain America.
Yeah.
I train
Oh,
you to fight
okay,
Captain
okay.
America.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Taskmaster originally was
That
like,
makes
I
sense.
don't fight these people.
He looked cool.
Regardless, none of that narrative is
safe. He
there.
was
Yeah,
safe.
He
it
got
was not.
no
he got-
narrative was
there,
there.
nothing. He
Taskmaster
didn't
got big
speak.
when he started fucking with Deadpool and the whole run with Deadpool.
Yeah, the
And that
Agent,
was
the
interesting.
Agent X
The Agent
story.
X.
The
That was
Agent X
interesting.
which was
story.
so
That's-
bizarre.
and
That
that's
whole
what I
Agent
wanted-
X, I have that whole Agent X run,
Yeah,
and I was like, what is
that's when
happening?
it-
Where
that's actually
did
when they-
Wade go?
Yeah, that's when they made Taskmaster interesting. Was Agent X?
Yeah.
Because before that, I could like Taskmaster was cool. He had a cool costume. Like, oh, his abilities are nice, but for the most part, he would run.
Well, he would run, and I never liked his name. I was just like, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Taskmaster
best.
doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense either. It's like
you're like, go get my jockstrap. Like,
Yeah.
Taskmaster. Like,
Yeah, and his
At your service.
his whole deal was like, I train henchmen. Like that was his whole deal. Was I
Yep.
train henchmen?
Yeah.
That was it.
That's a good paying job, though.
It is, but he was he would tell you, he's like, oh, Captain America show up, I'm leaving.
Starscream.
I'm
Hey,
out of
that
here.
he-
beef.
But-
you know that was beef.
But we do
All right,
know.
so in this movie, Taskmaster is supposed to acquire all these skills, and I don't think they portrayed that shit well because I mean, Black Widow's just Black Widow. But you know what I mean?
He did. He mirrored her moves. He fought her.
But that's not
and
enough.
that was about it.
Anyway,
that was about it. And it was a weak presentation of Taskmaster. But
if
thankfully,
you find someone with that skill level, I think you should be back against the wall. There was no moment where like Black Widow was like, "Yo, man,
I need to run."
Because if you find someone that can mimic you, Black Panther, Bucky, Steve,
and he should have been switching up, or she should have been switching up.
Boom, G, like for real.
And
it was no pressure.
Here's the deal.
No pressure.
Well, see, here's the deal about the Black Widow movie. It had no consequences because her fate was sealed.
We already knew what
in
was supposed
another
to
movie.
happen. Yeah.
But still, you can move the characters forward.
You started getting connected to Yelena.
Yeah, it pretty much this was the vehicle to bring in Yelena.
So here's my question: with Taskmaster, the one thing if you notice in the film, they never called the Taskmaster Taskmaster. They said
The Taskmaster
protocol.
It's a program, so we can see it again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is Kevin Feige's out. This is his safety net to be like, okay, that wasn't the real Taskmaster. Here we got another Taskmaster.
Or they can say we found someone with that ability and the chip enhances it, or maybe the
sure.
chip.
And that's technically his backstory, right? Because he has
It's
the
chip,
ability,
not the person.
and then he takes a super serum, a super soldier serum, which enhances that ability, and then he becomes. Because they did a
I can see
retcon
that.
backstory.
Yeah,
where he was
they retconned the serum into his veins.
and they made him a
super
former Shield agent.
They've played with his backstory now because they wanted
Big
to
time.
flesh out the character.
Yep.
Yeah, but do you think he's gonna get his own movie?
Nah, I think he'll show up as a villain. I think when you say Taskmaster Protocol, that leaves the door open to put him in something like
Tony
the Thunderbolts.
Masters.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can get Tony Masters and now make him a Thunderbolt or make him against the Thunderbolts or whatever your case. Because here's the thing:
He should just be a wild card.
no matter what, that girl is out, and and the programming in the helmet is there. So now at this point, anyone who wants to grab this tech can grab.
But let's
And it'll fiddle dude. That whole suit of fiddle dudes.
Right, so let's talk about that, because this is where I was lost
get
in the
him, Andy.
So
Get him.
I'm watching the movie, and I'm watching the beginning scenes, and I'm like, this is a big motherfucker.
Okay.
Like, this is a swole ass
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And, like, he's solid. You can feel the gravity and the weight of him as he kicks and he punches.
Right,
So
right.
then the reveal when the helmet comes off, and it's this little tiny head like Beetlejuice on this huge-ass fucking masculine body, and I'm like, that don't match.
Nah.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
even if it was supposed to be padding, it was not good.
It can't work because
Yeah, it
that didn't
doesn't
explain
work.
the length of the arms, the length of the legs, the width of the hips.
Yeah, you couldn't fight in that suit like
No,
that.
Yeah,
not
how
with that
good
little
it
ass.
was.
If your
How
head
good
is
it
that
was.
size and your neck is that size,
Yeah, it was
So,
Taskmaster.
unless they're gonna backtrack and say that was some sort of exosuit,
yeah, they
then
would.
it's done.
and
If
even-
it's
Right
not,
on time, right
That's
there.
a squad right there. Hey, look at
on
that. That's a
time.
squad right there.
that is a squad.
That's the squad. That would be dangerous.
That is a squad.
And he would be able to fight all of them at once.
And that's the point.
Who, Keith David?
That's
No,
Nah,
especially Keith David.
Actually, Keith David got the best shot in the game at winning this thing.
Yeah.
Because Taskmaster probably hasn't seen him fight. He's like, hey, yo,
Yeah.
you
You're
and Roddy.
right.
Like which version of him would he be watching?
who saw that fight in the alley? Who witnessed that fight between him and Roddy Piper?
Right.
The first time I ever read a Taskmaster was, I think, nobody could defeat him, but then Ant-Man defeated him.
Yeah.
It was like one of his early appearances
Yeah.
in Ant-Man because he's like, I don't know what the hell to do against the dude who shrinks.
Yeah, because you can't mimic that.
Yeah,
And then he
and-
couldn't. And then
and
he
the
couldn't.
strength. The
It was the classic like Hawkeye shoots Ant-Man towards Taskmaster. Ant-Man grows, punches
Yep.
Taskmaster in the
Yeah.
face.
Well, there's some
Which is
things
one of the most famous
Taskmaster
covers.
Can't mimic like
Yeah.
Thor and Hulk and shit.
Yeah, no, and he
he's
does
not
not.
gonna get a hammer.
What about
He-
Spider-Man though?
No, he can't.
He can't
match
mimic the
speed.
strength or the
He can't-
speed,
He
right.
can't mimic the strength. He's better off against Daredevil than he is against Spider-Man.
Okay, so more
Yeah.
hand in
Fighting
hand.
Yeah.
It's
Punisher and shit
it's
like
basic physical movements. Like his
Yeah.
strength is still his strength, or in this case, her strength. Which still, I don't understand how the fuck she kicked Black Widow so damn hard that she went flying into the river.
Yeah, because even in the comics, when they retconned it, they needed to explain his
was the
power,
suit.
and it was the super serum that gave him the super soldier serum,
Yeah.
which gave him his strength to enhance his natural photographic memory.
Right. So, assuming that this version had a super soldier serum because
I just think they got to use
she
exosuit.
fought the Red Guardian.
They got to say exosuit. They got to say that suit has
She
some
fought a
Stark
dude with a
tech in
super
it.
soldier.
Yeah, she fought a super soldier.
Yeah,
and
She
and
fought
was
a
putting him
dude-
on his ass.
She fought a dude who punched a 15-foot steel
Oh,
door
yeah,
like
he
20
flipped
feet.
that
Yeah,
whole,
and then he tossed
middle
the,
thing.
Yeah.
the truck.
Yeah, Red.
Yeah.
I mean, Red.
Right, stop it.
Red
Stop
Guardian
the
and a
tape.
punk.
Yeah,
she,
Red.
she gave him the hands.
Yes.
I
So
forgot about that
so is
aspect.
she a super
Oh, no.
soldier or not? And if she is not a super soldier,
It's got to be an
So
exosuit.
she could whip his ass, but
But
she
couldn't-
didn't put Black Widow no pressure.
No pressure.
I'm done with the movie.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things to be
It wa-
explained.
It was a nice wrap up for Tasha, though. I like the end.
The end was good.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
That was your favorite
the
part?
grave.
The end, yeah.
Oh, when
the-
she
the
was
grave-
walking
When the
off all
credit
like,
was
when the
cool.
credit was rolling,
when she was a little juicy.
And then
grave.
Val comes walking up. But I mean,
It's Thunderbolts. Now we get the Thunderbolts.
I'm hoping so.
But so let's talk
we've been
about
talking about this for a year.
why are they coming after Hawkeye with that lie?
I think more so is because Hawkeye is ex-Shield and knows things. I think Val. I think they need
Did
to
Val
wipe.
ask him and he was like, nah, now she wants him out.
Yeah, or she asked him while he was Ronin, or as Ronin he fucked up. Her
He might have
whatever she
been
got.
working with her as Ronin. We don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think they
don't
definitely
know.
have a connection before.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had maybe he was working with her as Ronin.
I mean, it's
don't know.
it's in the books they've cleaned many former Shield agents off the map. Like they've oh, you know too much, so you gotta go.
Yep.
And in the movie realm, Hawkeye would be a
but
high ranking
That's an
Shield
obvious
agent.
story for the Hawkeye series.
Well, no,
But
because in the
she's
Fraction
gonna go
story,
to Hawkeye. She's gonna eventually know the truth.
But they're using
Hawkeye ain't gonna say, "Oh yeah, I
They're-
killed her."
no. I think that's the lie to get her to kill Hawkeye.
Yeah,
I mean, you need an antagonist for that
There's
show.
gonna be Kate Bishop and Hawkeye in this Hawkeye series.
Yeah.
So either one of them.
and
is
they're
gonna-
still doing the tracksuit mafia, which
Yeah,
is
you
still,
got
yeah.
to. That's
Yeah,
a
they
part
still
of that
doing the
has
tracksuit
to happen.
mafia.
But if in that run, in that Hawkeye run, the whole thing was that there were elements where he was triple agenting. He was doing triple agent shit. So they can dig into that. He was being a triple agent, working through Shield, working for Valentina, working for whomever, and now he's got got something or wants something or he knows something. Like
We're
you said.
talking about someone who knows
Everything.
a little less than Nick Fury knows.
Yeah.
So that's dangerous knowledge in the
and
the
technically
world.
might know more because he's a spy. He's been all over the place.
And he's been embedded in places.
Yeah,
so,
Nick's been gone for years now.
yeah. So I mean, like Clint Barton in the MCU is a high ranking Shield agent who knows a lot of shit.
Yeah, he was
So coming
his
at-
eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he may know something about Valentina from the Spy game. So
Yeah.
she just may want him off the map for her own purposes.
Yeah, I don't think it's really because of the Black Widow. I think that was just the narrative
Yeah,
to
that's
get
just to
her
tell.
into
Yeah,
it.
that's just to tell you
To motivate her.
Yeah, motivate her.
Well, we'll see, because I don't like that shit. but-
Yeah, she's gonna
Well,
sit Walker and Black Widow.
Wait, but
on
why
him.
you don't like that?
Because I hear y'all, but I think she's gonna go. It's kind of obvious in screenwriting and TV. Like, since that movie
Which
was so weak to me,
You just denouncing everything connected to
I
it.
think what's gonna go down is kind of like simple story here. Why is Hawkeye getting a series?
Because Hawkeye's dope as fuck.
Hawkeye's super popular.
But on top of
But
that,
is
you know,
we getting into this?
Yes,
Hawkeye or
yes,
in
no,
Hawkeye?
no.
This is what the
Hawkeye?
series
That is
is
a
coming
dope.
out of.
That's
what we're
that's
getting.
A
We're
dope
getting.
arc.
Yeah, that is a great series.
Well,
Yeah.
talk about the series.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much this is pretty much the series where Hawkeye passes the torch to Kate Bishop. He
Yeah.
trains her.
Okay.
Yeah,
And they're
He-
setting up
after
Young
she
Avengers,
steals
so
his,
they have to bring her in.
Yeah, and they're setting up Young Avengers, so they're pretty much looking to pass the torch to the younger thing in the narrative. So this story, by the end of the Hawkeye series, Kate Bishop probably takes over the role in full.
Here's
Just
the
like-
question though: is the Young Avengers going to be a movie? Is it going to be on cinematic level? Or
They
I
have
think
not
it's
said.
Are
I have not
people
said.
running
I
to the
just think it's gonna
theaters
be
for the
Disney
Young
Plus.
Avengers?
No, but,
like
but it
Avengers
could be
movies.
it could be a dope show.
It would be
It
a
could be a
dope
really
show,
dope
and I
show.
don't want to take away from the Young Avengers, but I don't think they can.
And-
They're not
They
ready
can
for
pull-
that yet.
And
They're
you can
Young
tie,
Avengers.
You
yeah.
can tie it to WandaVision because of the twins, because they were Young Avengers.
Yeah.
So like everything goes back.
Well, then you got
And then-
Cassie,
and-
Cassie
but you
Lang.
know they're gonna use the twins. Just
Yeah.
for
You have
the
to,
way
yeah.
they highlighted them.
Exactly,
That's
and
gonna be the.
You
thing
got
coming.
Cassie Lang. You got Isaiah.
And America
Yeah, you
Chavez,
got-
who's
yeah.
making her debut in the Doctor Strange movie,
Strange.
is also a Young Avenger.
Yeah.
And then you
So,
got
I mean, they're putting them all there.
Yeah, they're
So, I
putting
mean,
they're putting them all there. Like so.
And you
So
got
like
Kamala
I said,
Khan,
this
too.
should have been a Disney Plus thing because it's like set up for.
I
again,
thought we were going to see
yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross a lot more in this.
I
and
did,
I
too.
thought he was going to show
he
up.
was
But he got a
wasted.
cold. What's wrong with him? He's sick.
I don't. What in this particular movie?
Oh, William
Yeah.
Hurt.
I
He's
think
had
they're-
heart attacks.
I
I
think
mean,
she
I
said
think
he had
they're
triple
going to hint to
bypass.
him. Isn't he the Red Hulk?
He is
Yeah,
the
I
Red
think
Hulk.
they're.
He's the Red
I
Hulk.
think they're
I
going
think-
in that direction.
Which
and
all
they-
he needs to do is voice. He doesn't even need to
Yeah.
Yeah.
act in it. He just needs to voice
Because
it.
they made him look a lot more, like a
Thinner.
lot older and thinner. Yeah, like something's wrong.
Did you guys notice in the Shang-Chi trailer, the Blonsky, the abomination?
Yeah, Emil,
looks-
yeah.
Did you see him?
Yep.
He's got
Look,
the
he's way more
ears.
green and way more
Yeah,
like.
he's got the ears.
He
Yeah.
kept
Yeah.
evolving.
So
Yeah.
some of the rumors are saying is that Thunderbolt Ross put Blonsky, took him out and put him in that tournament to get the rings.
That's probably the case.
I mean, Ross has always had his own moves, so we'll see.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
I'd love to see the
I
Red
like
Hulk.
how Ross.
We have to.
And if it's the Thunderbolts, is it going to be his team, Thunderbolt Ross?
That would be great. I mean, see, this is where it gets interesting. It's like it makes sense, and you've been keeping this character around, and you brought him back for a reason.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. William Hurts. You don't. They
You don't
haven't been
use him for
just- yeah,
nothing.
you're not using him. You're not paying that
He
guy
was
just to
only in
make
5
those.
seconds. of
Yeah,
Yeah, you need him. You're using him for something.
And
Yeah.
you set up John Walker for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Everything.
And, I mean, John Walker's a Thunderbolt. Black Widow, Yelena Belova's been a Thunderbolt.
Yep.
So I mean, the team
Taskmaster
is forming.
has been a Thunderbolt.
Taskmaster
has
has
been
been
a
a Thunderbolt.
Red Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red Hulk has been a
Hawkeye
Thunderbolt.
led the
All right,
Thunderbolts.
y'all
Yeah.
can bring him back. Y'all can bring him back. I deal
Winter
with
Soldier
Taskmaster.
led the Thunderbolts.
True.
Winter Soldier.
And we can see all of
I
them.
think he was the first leader after they switched to more of a anti-hero team as opposed to being just the Masters of Evil.
Well, no, after Masters of Evil came Hawkeye.
Oh, Hawkeye, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Hawkeye and then like
yeah,
Winter
and then
Soldier.
Luke Cage.
Oh,
I remember Luke Cage,
I
yes.
don't remember that.
Luke Cage.
I mean,
ran
I know
the
he's part of the
Thunderbolts,
team,
yeah.
but I don't remember him running it.
Yeah, Luke Cage ran while he was an Avenger.
I was
he
gonna say,
ran
wasn't he one of the
Thunderbolts.
Avengers
I know
too?
he was on it because there was a team that had like Ghost
He was
and
multitasking?
Moonstone.
Yeah, it was Ghost, Moonstone, Man Thing, a couple other weirdos.
A really fucked up
Yeah,
team.
it was a really weird team. They were weird. They had
And then the black man got to lead the weird team, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
but-
know how it
but
goes.
but they
Exactly.
kicked the most ass.
Okay.
They kicked the most ass. No one did what Cage's Thunderbolts did, and that is real. Like his team was actually pretty fucking. He had the most efficient Thunderbolts team, and he didn't hesitate to whoop their ass.
So
Emphasis on
I don't know
that.
how much time we got floating, but do you want me to drop a little bit about what I heard with the?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we're done with Black Widow.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
go
we're
ahead.
done with
Talk
Black
your
Widow.
talk.
Go ahead.
Black Widow,
Yeah.
Black Widow was
This
not
is
certified
straight
fly.
All right, so what I had heard. See, what I had heard
Ooh,
was.
what you hear?
Look
We
at all
got-
these
We got
rumors.
some fly rumors.
Fly rumors.
Fly
So,
rumors.
Mikey Sutton is an insider who is usually pretty solidly accurate about 90% of the time. I don't know, like we've talked, like I think he's connected to Feige directly, and I think Feige might be leaking the information to him to create more hype and buzz. So, but he's always usually accurate. And then he talks about like how the Marvel departments pull holds on characters who they want. And obviously, we're going to see Brother Voodoo in. I know he's slated for Doctor Strange, right?
Dope. That is a personal favorite of mine. So.
Absolutely. And we saw his brother in the first Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Which is the
Daniel,
justification
right?
because he was
Yeah.
killed. Yep.
Yep.
So some of the characters that Mikey Sutton had mentioned that are being pulled for the show, they want to have, after Doctor Strange 2, they want a Disney Plus show for Brother Voodoo. Now, some of the characters they had pulled and what they're talking about to be the main villain is Parker Robbins, the Hood.
The Hood.
Okay.
So
The
we
Hood.
got that.
The
Then,
One of the few mortals to actually wield the Infinity Gauntlet at some
Right?
point.
Wow.
Yeah.
then they said they're going to put a hold for Danny Ketch.
Ghost Rider.
Yes. Now,
A
Kevin Feige
series?
specifically, so this is on the Disney Plus series. So
Okay.
Kevin
Look at
Feige
Andy's face.
specifically
Look at
said
Andy's face.
Yes.
he specifically said
Yes.
that he wants several Ghost Riders in the universe. He definitely wants
Robbie and Johnny.
Johnny Cage or Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch.
So
And
they
then-
got to do Robbie Reyes.
Yeah, so
he's the best. For me, he's the
The
best,
best one, yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah.
the one that figured it out very well.
Yeah,
Yes.
he figured out, and the Hell Charger is just
Charger's-
dope.
That's beast.
The
super
Hell
dope.
Charger is a beast.
And that's
And
a-
we need to
that's-
we need to do a little bit better than the Agents of Shield.
yeah, Agents of
yeah.
Shield did
That's
him
true.
no justice.
Nah, it was
no
trash.
justice.
They trash.
So the
Trash, yeah.
other characters that they had pulled, some of the obvious ones like Maria Laveau and some of those versions of voodoo-centric people in that
Okay.
universe
Yeah.
So they're going to
that
expand
are real.
that.
They're going to expand that universe because it's going to take place in New Orleans. But
Okay.
then they're bringing in Cloak and Dagger, which they said they're going to recast.
A proper cloak and dagger.
Proper Cloak.
Okay, not
That
that.
Sounds good.
To match the description of a cloak and dagger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you,
That'd be
thank
awesome.
you.
And
Cause
if it
Gotta get it right, buddy.
and it's not even hard to do their pairing. To be
Sure.
honest, it's not
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
you can't just hire. Hey man.
no, you
a
can't just
actor?
hire
You
anybody. But
wanna
I'm
be
just
in the
saying,
show?
it's not their story in the terms of how to tell it isn't even hard to tell. They took
Didn't they
experimental
try this
drugs.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just tried experimental drugs and
They were
and
junkies.
Didn't they
they were
try
junkies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this, which
were
they
junkies
did
that
not
got
do right on
powers.
the last show.
Didn't they try Cloak and Dagger? Show?
They did. It was horrible.
It was not right.
It was bad.
It was like kids who
they
didn't
were
know
afraid
anything
to go
about it.
too deep
Look,
because
y'all,
of
y'all
Hulu.
can cheerlead this shit, but this Black Widow thing was like a X-Men movie without mutants. Like it's like they took a template of bullshit.
So you said
and
this was
threw it
like a
together.
Fox film.
Yeah.
But have you tried to watch X-Men like now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
so
not
bad.
good.
It's bad.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not good.
It's
I-
terrible.
Well,
good.
check this though. To go back really quick on the Brother Voodoo thing, what I really think is going to happen is they're going to set up Midnight Suns crew.
Yeah, that's
I'm with that.
that's the first thing
So
I
you're
thought we
talking
were
about
saying. That.
Blade. You're talking
with
about
that.
Danny Ketch. Now you're
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
with
Brother
that.
Voodoo.
I'm with that.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't Danny. I've never liked Danny Ketch as Ghost Rider.
So you want Johnny Blaze?
I'll take.
Well,
Robbie. I'll
Well, I
take
think
Robbie
Blaze is
Reyes.
going to
I
be
still
on
think
the
that-
big screen way before
I think
Danny
Keanu
Ketch.
is going to be Johnny Blaze.
Really?
I'm
yeah,
down.
because Keanu is a motorcycle enthusiast. So the motorcycle part he's got down.
Man,
And he's of the right age. He's the he would be
but
the age of a washed up
what
guy.
Is he gonna? What is he gonna? Wait,
John Wick 4 coming out next year.
I'm about to
John
use
Wick
that as
4
a bar.
coming out
now,
next
yo.
John Wick 4 coming out.
That is a
John
bar.
Wick
No,
4 is
no, no,
back.
no,
You
no.
are at the age of a washed up
No,
guy.
I'm not saying.
My
I'm talking
name
about.
is Pugs. You should
Wow.
not even try.
I'm talking about.
I'm ready. Ooh, this is a you gave me a good one. Oh my god.
Talking about the Johnny Cage age.
Hey, look.
Johnny Blaze age. That's what I'm saying. The Johnny Blaze
Johnny
age.
Cage,
He was an older, washed up former.
Johnny Cage was an
but-
older.
And you know he can do. You know
fight
Keanu
out.
Reeves can handle the physicality
But
of it
well, what is
because
Keanu,
of John Wick.
What is Keanu Reeves gonna do when crazy Nicolas Cage shows up outside his door? I'm Ghost Rider.
Let's talk about that.
'cause
But it'll be entertaining.
It
I
would be
I
great.
watch
Has
that.
anybody
I would watch
seen
that
the
fight.
last
Watch
Nick Cage
that.
I watch
movie?
that
Listen, Nicolas Cage is on a crazy run with films.
Yes, he is.
He
Did
has-
anybody see
Yeah,
that
it's
last
his
movie?
moment
When-
right
I haven't
now.
watched the last one that just
It's
came out.
Unreal.
when
and
isn't
here's the
he?
thing: this movie, the last Nick Cage movie, it's the Mart. I can't even know Wally World or something.
The
like
one
that.
where he was in the like the crazy.
He's
the
in like
house,
he's
the
in
fun
like-
house.
part.
He's
yeah.
in like a Showbiz Pizza that's
Yeah.
like by demonic animatronics.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
the
this shit looks-
demonic
people-
showbiz pizza.
So
It's
the
like
people
Evil
that
Dead
made the
with
film,
Showbiz.
But wait, this is the catch. This is the whole catch of the film. This is what makes it fucking brilliant. Because the people were on such a low budget and he wanted to do it so bad,
Yeah.
they couldn't afford, because he's union and there's a certain scale they have to pay him, he wasn't allowed to have any dialogue. So there's not one word of dialogue from, and it's
That works.
That's dope.
gorgeous.
That works.
It is hysterical. His facial expressions are on
That works.
20, and then he
Wait,
grunts
need
a
to
lot.
Step up the facial expression.
Oh my
if You're
God.
not saying
It's
anything.
Yeah,
hysterical,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like grunting.
Give
a
me
lot.
eyebrow.
It's just funny.
Okay, I want to see this.
yeah, Nicolas
think it's on
Cage is
Hulu,
hilarious.
too.
Soft
Like
Eyes.
that.
I'm
Soft
gonna watch
Eyes.
that
He's got
tonight.
another one that's out right now.
And it was a good film.
What's the one that just came out?
That was it.
No, there's another
There's
one.
another.
there's
I mean, he's
another
always
one.
putting something out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Color in Space was
Well,
good. That
he
was
did-
Color in Space is amazing.
brilliant.
That's
the
crazy,
colors
yeah.
in that movie.
Color in
were-
Space is amazing.
He's got
everything.
the one where he's like the martial art one.
Oh yeah.
There's that one, too.
Yeah.
Then
Why,
there's
why is he resorting to making these?
There it is.
He
There's
needs
that movie.
money.
Dude, do you know how many copies of Action Comics #1 he likes to buy? He buys almost every one that becomes available. He's a seriously addicted to. He has a Superman addiction.
Did you ever read his comic?
Yeah,
What'd you think of that?
yeah, it was garbage.
Him and his son.
It was garbage. Sorry, Nick Cage. But
I've seen that pyramid that he bought too in the
Yeah.
cemetery in New Orleans.
Yeah,
He's supposed to have been Superman in Once Upon a
Yeah, did
Yeah,
you ever
God.
see what that looked like?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know
that
him-
would have been better than the last.
Do you
than any
him
of
and
that
him and
DCU.
Jerry Seinfeld have like intact near mint Action Comic #1s?
Him and who?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, really?
Yeah, Seinfeld is also.
Put
That's
him
why
on the list, Ambi.
Wow.
What list is
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bugs like, yo, did I just sign up to assassinate Jerry Seinfeld?
No, I'm like, are they gonna break in his house? Like,
Like, right. We got it. Nah, for real. That's cool though.
Crimes against
Hey, look.
Seinfeld.
I would see it go down. They're like,
Hey, let me tell
so
you.
what did he say on the show? I was like, well, you said like we're going to Seinfeld.
I would steal Action Comics #1 to sell it to buy a bunch of Marvel.
Ooh.
That's like a diss. That's like a diss. And you
That's
came up.
hard.
That's rough. That's rough.
hard.
But I'll take an Amazing Fantasy 15 over an Action Comics #1
All
any day.
day.
All day long.
I've seen one in the wild in my life. It was beat up, and it was at Graham Cracker.
Oh yeah, I've held in that Amazing
Shout out
Fantasy
to
15.
Graham Cracker,
Yeah,
First
shout out.
Aid,
hands.
All
They
the
let
comic
you hold
shops.
it?
The coolest thing about
I've held one. Yeah.
the coolest thing about the Action Comics that I saw, and I can't remember what the price was. It was like $6,000 or something. It was really bad shape. But the coolest thing was it had a stamp from like 1965 or 3 or whatever from a kid in Chicago. So it's from a local collection here.
Okay.
And the kid stamped his address on it. I thought that was dope.
That's classy.
Oh yeah, I've seen lots of old
It was
comics
like something
that.
on Washtenaw Street is where it was from.
Word. Well, gentlemen, it has been a great
This
great
was a fantastic. This is.
You guys are gonna make me go buy some comics, man.
You should. You should.
That's the point.
Yes, support your local comic shop.
Yes, we need that.
So we are got it. This has been a great evening, Pugs. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks
hanging
for
out.
having me,
thank you,
man.
thank
And
you.
you had Risky here, man.
And we had
Yeah,
Risky.
we had
Biz.
Risky.
Awesome.
I'm happy
Risky
to be
here.
here.
DJ
with
Risky
the whiskey.
Business bringing it. And
Shout out to Kevin Maxey. 'cause he's not
shout out
here.
to K Maxey.
Shout out to BVAC.
Shout out to BVAC. Shout out to Fifth Element, who's coming.
Coming,
Fifth
coming.
Element
He better
coming
bring all his
soon.
Prince comics. He's coming.
Oh, I'm
He's-
sure.
he's
I'm
coming.
sure.
All of it. All of it.
I'm sure.
Yo, and one, shout out to
Blouses volume.
Hey, Cheese, before we end, can I bless them with one last song?
Of course you can,
Yeah,
man.
you get.
So you end it, and I'm going to bless.
Yeah,
bless
well,
it.
yeah. We're gonna let you take us home.
You gonna get a
Risky.
set.
Yeah, you're gonna get a set. But yo, this has been Fly Nerd Group Primetime. I am Coach E Soulstar. To my right is
Ambi Warhol.
to my left,
Cosmo Galactic.
special guest.
Pugs Atomz at Pugs Atomz, PugsAtomz.com, USUE93.com.
All of that stuff. DJ Risky Business providing the soundscape.
yo.
We gonna let them take us home. Thank
Rock.
you everybody for tuning
Rock.
in
Yes,
every
yes,
Wednesday,
yes.
5 to 7.
Well, there you go.
Peace.
Shirts
Rock-
coming soon.
Rock the world.
Get at us.
Let's go. Necro in this bitch. I'm saying. Acrobats in the national. Acrobats in the national.
You in the square?
Back to the round table. A little something. Easy, yo.
Right.
I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world.
You're never gonna find another player with a record full of A's and a finish, but a maybe got a planet out pro passport. Pissing on your dashboard, never getting what you asked for. Someone ready to rape the whole scene. Talk some jelly or break your slow team. If you eager to stay, well go ahead. Fix dudes up with the hand, oh yeah, we do that. But a blue bat when your crew whack. Got a little bit of baby fat, but it ain't too bad. I still get you on a track opponent. Busting down, eating my macaroni shit. Nonetheless, I run the sets and lucky chest. Let me find out you the punk best. I'll take you home and fake the fun. Make you strip down to your little baby trust to sing to me. Bring the cheese, a fiend to please. Where you washed up, you was sticking with the seaweed. Eat, back the fuck up, otherwise I will seek one the back of a dump truck. Always, will I ever give it up? No, babe. Keep it doing shit up all day. Little chocolate, this rock shit, shot it real hard to my jaw break.
Gripping that mic and spitting them kites whenever I write definition of tight. You can't see us get sorry about that animosity. What puts hands lingers just to hurt these finest creatures. Bring your team of cheaters and your leader and believers. Someone beat you with your white beater. Hear the message we progressive heard it. Adolescent spirit is built for pussy shit like kitty litter. Necro with some city slickers. Tossing you stars off roofs like ninjas. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world. I'm gon' rock the world. I'm gon' shock the world.
Now cats be on some softness, like don't give acrobats no time. We can't have a bunch of Southside black men teaching people how to rhyme. It's like a hip hop crime from three-face facts. So look for the punchline, or I'll slow down if I'm going too fast. These cats is tough and think they better than us. But remember these days when we finally come up, you ain't paid no dues to even try to do this. Talking about rhymes when you constantly influenced. Got crackheads on the mic, can't really do it nice. Standing around dissing, when you can't record a sentence, you a reject. Not wanted in other land, globally Infinite don't get respect from the true brother man. Y'all cats lack soul in your music. That's why when I hear your sound, it's totally useless.
NACRO now. Dope MCs got flow. Living these kids, we be making these hits while you sit there making excuses. Now this homie wildin' from Dalton to Stony Island. Fuck your peaceful preaching, this demon remains really violent. Silent is your assignment, goddammit. Rock the world, don't take it for granted. My linebacker got my back on tracks. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna
go rock the world. I'm gonna shock the world.
Always, Nacrobassy, that's the household name. Niggas tryna style us out, but they can't do it the same. Get your breath under control before you step on the stage. Breathe in and let it soak until the lungs start to cave. 10 years and we've been killing, dropping shit on your brain. Freestyling at the point and on the back of the train. Chi-Town is what we call it in that Midwest slang. Pushing silver bottoms all the way from Texas to Spain. What you know about the way we moving pins on the page? Rocking bars like niggas out with Joliet in the cage. Leaving A inside your square that's been a symbol for days. In the West, so now you know just how we shock into rays. I'm gone, and I'm gone, and I'm gone, and I'm gone.
Don't knows what they like, shaking asses. But when the mic passes, the masses caught the gases, then it hit them like gashes. Smack in the face like the bass in the place. It's a straight waste of time with your rhyme though. Until you label, you ain't nothing but a rhyme hoe. So flow and let's see what you got. You can't rock your cock, let alone rock spot hops. Cops wanna scrap, jocks wanna rap, and the whack makes a hard rock wanna cap. So take that and bring it back to the sucker that who's saying yo, I'm rhyming in your face, but I didn't mean to tempt you with the shit that I write. Cause biting means death, and I won't stop rocking till there's no rap left. And even after that, I still come back with them stone cold raps, and it's like that. So fight back, but when we're done, you'll say easy as in it's a brand new year. And shit's looking grim for the style that you're flowing, weed that you're growing, bitches that you're hoeing, and people that you're knowing. So lo and behold, spring brings a new crop. Chicago hip hop, and it don't stop.
1, 2, 3, and 3 for the real hard rocks. Just let them suckers drop and it won't stop. 4, 5, 6, and 6, we all up in the mix. Chicago hip hop and it don't stop. 1, 2, 3, and 3 for the real hard rocks. Just let them suckers drop and it won't stop. 4, 5, 6, and 6, we all up in the mix. Chicago hip hop and it don't stop. I'm stop, I'm stop, I'm stop, I'm stop, I'm stop.
It all starts out with a vision, a dream. But what must one use? Your precision, it seems, would have been the right tool to dissect the rap field. Pin it down the skin of the earth, keeping it real. Ain't that all a nigga gotta do to get on? The right door, but the mic starts is all wrong. But at a young age, or what would one know? Fantasies of them ripping mics at every show. Crowds knowing the words that they song, shutting their name. Lights on billboards outside, display fame they earn. Many brothers have the similar dream of Mercedes Benz and BMs and Falcons. I mean, in their mind, even A&Rs are the signs. Especially if they say they had a future with rhymes. Gas and niggas saying they got skills to win. Shaking hands and always sporting Japanese grins. But there's something that to most is an unknown thing. Watch your back, they all got fangs. Hey yo, gather round and get caught in my swing. But watch out for the industries of venomous things. Niggas hold the flames down and keep it tight. And push your right now.
Like B to the I, C to the T, O to the R, I, L, A, P.
Like V to the I, C to the T. This be that MC battle cry.
It's like do-rah, 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 do-rah. You think your crew's hot, they not, we got this spot. You suckers blow pop, get mob, leave you in shock. But yes, you get got no props.
Wish you would style.
When we rhyme, we bring style. You only expect to hear from the prime. Set booby traps, then landmines with ease. No hollow points when I shoot that breeze. In my book, y'all are just footnotes. Some took close, but my work wasn't cited.
Highlight,
I caught you at your worst. Sip from my fountain pen, I'll quench that thirst. I wet my whistle with a mouthful of alphabet soup so that I can spell trouble. V to the I, C to the T, O to the R, Y, L, A, P. It's all about that victory.
T-O-R-Y. This be that MC battle cry.
V-I-C-T-O-R-Y. This be the MC battle cry.
It's like V-I-C-T-O-R-Y. This be the MC battle cry.
V-I-C-T-O-R-Y. This MC battle cry.
Sometimes the bras be all good. Sometimes the bras be all bad. But man, I still like the bras. I seen some dookie braids, but they extended over. I'd love to bend it, but I stays making motion. Seen a big ass that needs lotion on them elbows. Pick up the potion at the bar, I don't sell hoes. Dreams, wanna have some flings, do nasty things, and I ain't trying to glacier the blazer. I got a backseat that swung for an F. Seen a slim putting smoke in her lungs as she step. Haircut like Anita Baker. Looked her up and announced that I'ma try to get on her. Excuse me, miss, I was wondering if you having it. She might have been, but then I seen a friend dressed a little more freaky, looking at me like all her life she did seek me. I was like, how you doing? And I got through in like a jet. I flew in, got straight to the screwing. Do you like to get freaky live with your T-box cut and big old butt like Tina or Brenda? You got the kind of booty that I can't forget. You're set to make me hard so I can make you wet. She was like, bet, let us get acquainted. Tapping one night, hope it ain't tainted. What should I do? Or what should I do? What should I do? Or what should I do? What should I do? Or what should I do?
I used to practice my skills and slanted backs of bills, slinging sugar hills, trying to get my bills. Raised among ills and cool ass folks who wore jeans till they dies. With FOTIs, I epitomize game. Yo niggas know my name, rolling with the nation, the business in the frame. You can keep the fame, it's all about the ends. The shorties in my hood, my family and friends. That Benz in my yard, that credit on my cord. After 25 years of this nigga living hoard. Like God, I rise to open up your eyes. Sister, close your thighs, quit flirting with them guys. Show your real prize. True players taking heed while we drowning in this alcohol and weed. For real.
Give us this day. Richard got our daily bread molded. My old girl said, Rashid, you should have voted. The truth of the moment on the poll, it wasn't nothing but components to a system that's corroded. Secrets get coded and promoted to the inner city bosom. Jobs are scarce, most are died by hustling. I get into discussions with the Christians and the Muslims of percussion in this real nigga ensemble. Chicago, city of steppers and niggas with wild hair. Besides the hawk, there's a foul hair. Wonder if I raise my child there. Regardless, it's the foundation. A hustle salvation, organized gangs in our nation.
It's the hustle of the scholar, street soldier supreme. Down by common ground, here to put it down. Coming from the goat, it'll stay for show. Out for respect and the dough. Bust it out. It's the hustle of the scholar, street soldier supreme. Down by common ground, here to put it down. It'll stay for show. Coming from the goat, out for us.
It's all natural. It's all natural. Keep it on the brain. Don't make it hard to maintain. You can only see material things without perception. So why try to shine for blind man? Impressions got you stressing. Much left for manifesting. I'm Doug Infinite, forever with direction as I travel state to state on chrome tape. Record stores pay the freight for weight. My form, the shape is shapeless. Wanna comprehend it? Take this. You know me like you know what your fate is. Process invisible, results is visual. Attack and I hit your pressure points is critical. Attract all things inside my presence. Then let the esoteric essence give off light like a crescent. The seeds I plant start to bloom like butterflies manifest themselves from cocoons. Victories by no mistake. Me and my man, no ID, penetrate and carry real weight. Invisible forces control all you see. Good life and luxury comes naturally. It's the real way. Doug Infinite. No ID. Invisible forces control all you see. Good life and luxury comes naturally. The real way. I'm Doug Infinite. My name is no ID. My man, let's drop it like this. Take it from the low. Take it Yo, boy, any intrusion, excuse the interruption. I go by the name of man who needs no introduction. My joint bangs, my shit's bustin'. Your jam blows and you keep sucking. My rhymes rock, your flow's weak. You're a small pebble, I'm
I'm a cobblestone street. You feel salty, my joint sweet. I kill noise, but you can't sleep. At volume 10, you make no peep. While at 1, my shit's the heat. In your Jeep, my shit will beat. I keep it funky while you just reek. I got rhythm, I got rhyme. Mom and dad, they knew the time. K's on the board in the booth for Pharisee B. What more can I say?
Yo, mic check 1, 2, 1 time. Would you mind if I took it easy? Yo, mic check 1, 2, 1 time. Would you mind if I took it easy? Yo, mic check 1, 2, 1 time. Would you mind if I took it easy? Yo, mic check 1, 2, 1 time. Would you mind if I took it easy?
Yo, this is from the Go on the Real, where we always keep the shit raw deal. Mass appeal is no concern. This is how we do it. This is my turn. Turn it out is what I do.
Shitting it on y'all public house.
NBC is in effect. All whack niggas get
I
no
spit like me and Earl was blood brotherly. My style above ugly. Gloves snuggly in the ass and wanna be thugs levelly. One of the illest, still dirt, maggots and bugs cover me. Fucking with killer, make your brain cradle a slug cuddly. Give a fuck if it's mixtape or what. Put your money where your mouth is, and I show you a dick with a bad case of paper cuts. Oh, what night's supposed to be. Raise your cup toast to me. A house shit until the mixed board is covered in upholstery. Fucking kids behind these bars like ours is McManus. Verbally that managed. You at a disadvantage, rather a mic or a gat brandish. When I'm done wetting shit, niggas will think they died and woke the fuck up in Atlantis. He who writes terror, flow a nightmare. Pull more holes than cops put on niggas during the civil rights era. And some of you 5 mic niggas ain't worth the price of the magazine. No nice as you back at scene. I would.
Thoughts black deep pool, seeking powers of immortals. My supreme structure never walk but floats, matter gloats ghostly. Spook a fluke, my groups gather and blast matters. I cater to college cuts, carnivore, hardcore, double the R6, mouth of madness, vice lord of illusion. Street savage is sharp on the ledge, packing the jagged edge, bringing grief that never cease. Honest teeth, seeking any living organism outside of problem. I got the brethren hovering over the city, swooping in unison, attacking in threes. Freedom seas get beat blue black, swift, brutal, and traceless. Tied to our ride with rubber. All you motherfuckers got a reason to panic. Brandish rhymes like nines. Groups make a move. Blah, flash your fucking mind. Brian Antonio bust like Desperado Hines. Catch a phone booth and more to meta. Blow torch, give him the fever. And I greet them cheese like the hooded Grim Reaper. Anticipation, waiting on the rush. Better hold ya, or interfere. Anticipation, waiting on the rush. Better hold ya, or interfere.
In the realm of psychodrama, we only know one thing. That's right. To give them the flux. To give them the flux.
These rappers is shucking and jiving and stuff, getting themselves in the shit that they can't get out of. Fucking up, here go the flux. A display of lyrics and patented rhythms by Side and Young Buck.
For viewers' discretion is only factual, not fiction, homie. The ruler, the thug sticking out cause you know me. Federal, pimp block the block, you can't hold me. Situation getting heavy, ammo get low, need my homie, what's up?
Well, your homie right on you, you know from the fire. Go up on these bitches, it's devious as we gon' get on this shit. Let's talk, let's not sit on this shit. We the shit on this shit, they just spit on this shit.
Psychodramatic, oh happy, get this bit crazy, the ranger with it, this shit buck inside is the physicist. Belligerent, feel it, cause we ignorant. Nigga, y'all in it, the flux is the subject of weight and adrenaline, the feel a bitch. Side the medic, buck the relic, and drama that did it to him once again. The chance that you get, change to your face, and the blood to the covers, undisputed bitch.
And again, to the end of the pen, be worse than this sin against men. I'm feeling fenced in, from birth, saw the light of the earth, and I've been fucked up since then. This fusion, clenching, the might get that bitch contusions. It's 2 of Chicago's fucking gruesome. Introducing to you the flux.
Big dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? All over the world, it's the same old thing. Psychodrama, fluctual thinking.
My continuous output, my flow of ideas for years been thrilling in me. Please don't stop this feeling in me before the feeling get to killing in me. See, I'm into mayhem. When the play hit the streets of havoc, and then I'm ready to your grave in. Lucifer got nothing to do with this shit. To the days of dirt, getting fucked up within. And up.
He bastard. No. Dear baby Yeezy. No, that's not it.
Dear Dirt McGurk. Oh, yeah. Look, man, this is a girl that I really like, man, and I want to get her to notice me. So I just wanted some advice on what should I do to, like, get her to come my way. Right back soon. Your biggest fan, Rhymefest.
Why do you build me up?
Have you ever met a girl coming to your world, crack the safe and put your brain on sterile, activate and leave stains like curls, sophisticate and make you feel so girl. There it is, so liberated, riding in a sports car, so ventilated, jogging in a sports bra, so titillated, chick so cool, but not refrigerated. Look, girl, I don't wanna trouble ya, but this chick on my block, I'm in love with her. I wanna get up in a bush like W, trying to get up in a bush like W. So write me back, let me know. I'm supposed to hit it when I got no dough. I'm supposed to spit it when I got no flow. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yo. Oh.
Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby, just to let me down. Mess me around in the worst of all. You never call, baby, when you say you will. But I love you still. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. Build me up, Buttercup, don't break my heart.
Chicago. Yeah, I shoot the gift on the radio station. 88.5. HBK was the only station that would fuck with rap. 88.5. Chicago on the radio station. Taking a train, taking a train, taking a train, taking a train.
The red line is the thin spine I roll down the back of a city overgrown and overtaxed. The wax stands of the rich pick a thin pockets bare and scatter the skeletons of cultures with no rent control. Pattering feet of prostitutes and penny brown children trace glass glazed street for someone to pay or to listen. I glisten like the question in a shorty's eyes sleeping in the train car at the Lawrence stop when I get it making pillows out of bare arms while I'm posturing poems. But I can't name these eyes or the idea of less than home. Home the unfinished stitch that fate hasn't sewn in the skirt of an evening over morning's waist blown. I see the moon, I see the go going by on stilts as mouths wilt and turn blind in the girl's eyes. Fate's hands have holes, we hold hope by the collar. Color red, the closed eyes shut tight on the dollar rails. Rock heads to sleep. My eyes peel all the way to memorize a sleeping girl's face.
Oh shit, I'm late, I got a bus to make to take the 35th and stay. Get on the damn Ryan red line and head downtown with head down. Experience life in surround sound. Rhythmatic speech occurs when the crowd's around. Besides, I'm still waiting on the train. Plus, I'm late already. And how the fuck am I gonna get downtown and back to WHBK? Man, it's already 8:40. Too much thinking. I gotta keep this freestyle steady. Now, freestyle's over. Things like this point to the fact that I'm sober. I need weed. Yo, fuck the mission to the record store to put CDs on consignment just for fickle fans to not buy it. I thought they liked violence, but anyway, skip downtown. I turn around, I hear the train coming, head out now. Train stop, hop in the back seat like a fucking taxi. And I heard that DJ Nat be having fat sacks of weed. Get off and catch the 55th and Garfield to University. High Park Sale, I feel a dark chill when I hit the building. Here with the intention to kill it, finally made it. Now where the hell is Quell and Dennison?
Reasons run thin by the end of the line, but the signs can be read if you learn them in time. Reasons run thin by the end of the line, but the signs can be read if you learn them in time.
Yo, it's already Wednesday night, time for HPK's rap show, but waiting on sack show makes me late, fuck it. Gotta hit this open mic, hoping to leave stress at the rest so I can float tonight. I grab my rhyme book and hit the elevator, light a square, freestyle the tell, I'ma tell later. Hike to the thin red line at Sheridan, by the time my name dries, wait for the train, here it is. Amongst the chatter of work days and old dreams, the thin red line holds me to window seats, the wind blows beats, with sin don't sleep, but neither can I, with open mics on my mind. My pen and pad describes 65-minute lifetimes. From Sheridan to Hyde Park, provide spark tight lines. Who's these typical cats flexing insane?
The QWA.
Citizen Kane. Good to see y'all cats laid against some typical shit.
For sure, don't sweat it, Denizen. Yo, it's cool that you made it in.
Yo, my bad, Denizen. I had to catch some medicine.
Oh, I feel the pharmacology. Cats were just guessing when B3 breathe these free prophecies.
Catch me shutting out a limit to these, the HP, the MCs that hate me probably because they take themselves too seriously.
My fear is not being near your seed to hear them speak. For sure, you know these flea-bitten felines is fam.
And a loose tooth to get left in the booth. Ask my man Dan in a fine fickle fix the fellowship and fools front. In fact remains Benetton ads on crack make your moves.
Similar to high tech and Talib, only a high speed. Fools running, but the fact remains they still won't do nothing. Who's bluffing? Fuck that. I'm more concerned with who's cutting.
Yo, fuck who's cutting. Yo, it's cool if you two do just plop, do just plop, do just plop, do just plop, do.
Well, here it is. Enough guys them talk about them a rapper, but rappers get wrapped up and thrown away. We are the lyrical skill for making MC write out his own will.
Alright, 1, 2, 1, 2. Microphone checking, y'all. Bringing your crew, I'm swinging through like a wrecking ball. Competition is getting crushed when AK flexes. I'm burning up more kids than Waco, Texas. Hold me back, I'm about to slam motherfuckers, so my man could put me in this jam like Smuckers. I drop jewels, I got tools like Black & Decker. When I fight duels, I'm jumping fools like checkers. I can scatter no matter how many men you bring me. It's my move now, so king me. You get snow juice, sucker, so put your cup down. I'll hit the deuce and catch a two and swing uptown. A low down, no good neighborhood vandal. Me and my crew be hanging out like toes in a sandal. Brothers who try to riff get twisted up like dreadlocks. I'm bigger than a bread box. I walk like Red Fox. I smoke weed, talk shit, and drink Ripple. I stagger like I'm crippled, but I'm hard like a fucking nipple. I rip the show and then I'm ghost like Patrick Swayze. Brothers hear me flow, they be like, yo, that kid's crazy. I'm sick, an escaped lunatic, straight out the psych ward. With both legs broken, I'm yoking suckers with the mic cord. I'll take a crew and string them up like high tops. Mentality, roughneck, reality, give me my props. I can jump from 20 feet and still feel super. It takes more than a fall to stop a real trooper. I got rap sheets and fat beats with heavy bass. Back in the days, my code name was Chevy Chase. I was known for ripping shows and flipping foes, hitting hoes and hanging out like wet clothes. I'm massive. I roll thick like molasses. I'm inescapable and capable to bust asses. And when it comes to rhymes, my style is unlike others who try to get fly when they know they ain't the right brothers. You'll never get this dapper, you're still a whippersnapper. I can just slap a rapper and cut him off like the clapper. I'm swift. I can riff at the drop of a dime, so I'll kick a fat rhyme. It's about that time I get mine. See me and Parker, we go way back. So hey black, if your name ain't Pat, don't say Jack. Be on your best and watch how you step to me. Don't answer with a question, this ain't Jeopardy. All you really doing by pursuing me vocally is provoking me to kick the rhyme. This time the joke will be on you, because you didn't examine the facts. Now stop and look at where you're at.
My arrival in the game got them scared and confused, like an Arab in a trench coat on a bus full of Jews. Biggest bad news from hella beef and mad dudes. Spots overstocked with bunk MCs and whack crews. Fag dudes and bougie bros with tattoos. A few real ones like me and Pro who come at you gutter and grimy. Still spit butter so lively, another notch up in the belt for any nigga who try me. Plus I come endorsed by all sorts of cohorts who start shit for sport with sawed-offs and got stripes when they fought. Focus starts to send y'all off. Much more expedient than Uncle Sam. That very few up in the city taking meetings with Bam. Fuck the glitter and glam, bullshitters and scams. You Bams, you Bams, you Bams, you Bams, you Bams, you Bams, you Bams.
That's Bansky and Profound.